Yep.
What's up, Bless?
What's up?
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right.
All right, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Good morning. No, it's not morning. It's afternoon. It's just in the East Coast. It just feels like morning because of the rain. Welcome, episode 141, Planet Xbox podcast, hosted by yours truly, the Best Buy Kid Smooth. God bless here with me, and then whomever decides to join. Just to give you guys a quick update. Apologize for missing the show last week, but more important things happened. It was my kid's birthday. Took a little trip to Kalahari. That was fun. Spent a couple of days out, and it was fun. So ignored everything for a little bit. Came back and got into some trouble as usual. But let's get to today's show, man. Bless, man. What have you been playing?
I ended up beating Last of Us Part 1 on PC.
How was that?
That was an experience. I think the game is it definitely got some good patches. The port is still, it's still not ideal, but I definitely had no problems running 60 FPS max settings on it. But of course, my PC costs a lot. But I think generally it got a lot of good patches though, but definitely basically the exact same game, graphic overhaul. Honestly, I don't think, to be honest, they didn't really change much out of that game. Honestly, like the AI, I don't think they really did much in terms of the AI and stuff like they said that they did. And animations, they look mostly the same to me. So basically just like another, like I said before, like I called it before, like the time before it came out, where I said it was like a Last of Us Remastered Part 2 or Electric Boogaloo Edition. It's like the second one. Is basically what it is. Still a good game, of course, but I've been playing some COD multiplayer. Modern Warfare 2019, went back to that. It's still fun. And playing some Modern Warfare 2. But also played and beat my second playthrough of Cyberpunk.
Is this with the path tracing experience?
Yes. And boy, oh boy, that literally is, oh my God. It's one of those changes. I think if you were to see it live, like playing versus regular like rasterization, regular lighting, you'd see why path tracing is the future. It makes everything just look more real, The only surfaces that the full ray tracing, quote unquote, doesn't apply towards is like particle effects and mirror reflection. So like glass, for example, like I like took a picture or screenshot on Twitter. Like you'll have like a glass bottle like randomly glows when like everything else is path traced and it's like a dark corner, but it's like a glass like beer bottle that's just glowing. Outside of that, it looks so realistic. Like it's so good looking. There's so many situations, and it's not even necessarily like in broad daylight all the time, broad daylight, but indoors is where you're gonna see the most of where it looks so much better than regular lighting. It's a very, very pretty game, and it just adds so much to it when they added the path tracing. And it's incredible that you're able to play it. Like, it's not even just exclusive to 40 series cards. Like, you're able to play it on like a 30 series card. It's just you have to manage expectations. Like, this is like almost full on path tracing where there's, I believe it's like two bounces of light and 2 rays. So it's very demanding. Everything is bouncing light everywhere, realistically. So it's a very demanding, but you can play this on like a 3070, 3080. You just have to put it on, like, for example, like DLSS performance, but you can get like a 30 FPS or higher depending on what your res is. But man, that very I can't wait to see it like in 5 to 10 years. Like I hope that's gonna be like just that's gonna be the regular lighting. Once next generation console come out, the PS6, Xbox Series X2, I hope that's like path tracing will be the standard. I really hope that's true.
Ray tracing ain't even the standard yet. like
I mean, that is true, but I don't know what in specifically Nvidia, because AMD, but in context, it doesn't really run it well. But from what I've heard, like AMD hardware, at least it's not designed specifically for path tracing. It's very like inefficient in terms of that. That's why like versus like a 6900 XT or like or even like the new AMD cards, the 7900, like the new cards, like it'll run in the teens with like FSR on or like on performance. It's because it's just they're just not as good as Nvidia cards, unfortunately. But I don't know, the fact that I was able to play that at like I literally played it at like 1440p, but with DLSS, so it's like 960p internally. And I had DLSS frame gen where they insert and make a frame in the middle of every 2 frames, and I was playing at like 90 to 100 FPS. It's a modern game, and I was playing it over 100 FPS with path tracing. What Nvidia has done, that shit's incredible to me. It's mind blowing. But I don't know. I just hope that we'll see more games like that. Because if you see, for example, a game that looks so good like Last of Us Part 1, imagine that with path tracing. Realistic lighting, that game would look like real life. Like Dying Light 2, or not Dying Light 2, sorry, Dead Island 2, that game that just come out, it has a really good realistic look to it, right?
Yep.
Imagine that with path tracing. You would not be able to tell it's a video game, like legit. If it had realistic lighting, everything looked natural. You'd look at a screenshot, you'd think it would be a photo. Like literally, you would think it would be a photo. So I don't know. I'm just excited for the possibilities. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you?
Sir Dre the Great, you're free to come on if you like. But I've been playing I'm trying to think. I've been playing Dead Island 2. I beat that, completed that game already. I'm currently playing the Jedi Survivor game. It's the last game that I've booted up. I haven't. It's been on my radar recently. I literally have to go to the Xbox app. Ghostwire Tokyo. I ran through that game on Xbox. Beat that.
You enjoyed it more?
I enjoyed it more. It was at least a more consistent experience. It's not that sure. It still had frame drops and shit like that, but it wasn't catastrophic. Like obviously my peaks on PC were better than my peaks on Xbox, but the drops on PC were more significant than my drops on Xbox, which was more so that created that problem for me. So, but
yeah, fair enough.
What were you about to say?
No, I said yeah, fair enough.
And I also did Far Cry 5. Once they did that 5th anniversary update, I guess, for the current gen consoles, it has the game running at 4K 60 and whatnot. Better. I mean, I started the game. I never completed it when it originally came out. But after experiencing Far Cry 6, it was easier to go back to Far Cry 5 and see it through now that I was playing at a higher frame rate. So I enjoyed that. Tried a little bit of Minecraft Legends. I'm not sure I'm ready for it. And haven't got an opportunity to start Benedict Fox yet, but hopefully I can get through that and see how Star Wars is going. So far Star Wars is all right. I do wanted to, I guess, start off the show with that game. Now, reports started to come out about the game. I want to say within like I guess when like the last 48 hours before the game release, right? Where people were like they were saying mentioning the performance and whatnot. But the thing that kind of like had me tripping out was like, okay, they're talking about the performance, but it was like the tone that they were talking about. It was like very forgiving, right? It's like all the reports about it seemed like more optimism than pessimism, and it was just like it's having some issues, whatever. But usually when a high profile game has performance issues or bugs and stuff like that, and they start to come out, it's a little bit more of a harsh reaction. I think about stuff like Cyberpunk. I think about stuff like what else came? I remember State of Decay 2 came out. Like usually high profile games, when they get into the public's hands early, and they start, and they have like bugs and it requires patches or some shit's missing in the game, those reports go viral, but they go viral in a negative tone. And I feel like for some reason Jedi Survivor is going to be an incredible game, and they just have some bugs that would just get over, or like what's going on? Why is the energy so different? And I've obviously got I had early access to it. I think only by like a couple hours though. By the time I got a code for the game. Played it and it was fairly clear, and I'm playing on a Series X. It's like, okay, so this game got like some performance issues because the first thing I did was I streamed it. So I'm not using obviously VRR or anything because I'm plugged into a capture card. So it's like, okay, yeah, some screen tearing, lots of it, and the performance was just like highly inconsistent to the point I think I even had like a complete like pause.
Like a stutter where it was longer than like 300 milliseconds, where it was like a second type shit.
Yeah, it was like to the point it's like, oh, okay, well, like that, like we're at to the point I thought it was a glitch, but it was a performance hookup. So I'm curious. I booted it up. Yeah, because when did I stream it? Like 2 days ago. So yesterday I tried a little bit of it before the Lakers game on like plugged in directly, obviously, to my monitor where I do have VR support, and obviously the performance felt smoother. So VRR is definitely going to help the game a lot. But like if you don't have VRR, like you're going to see the tearing at the top of the screen, and you're going to see like the inconsistency where it'll have some sense of smoothness, and then it'll just speed up, and then it'll just like kind of like bunker down. But that's pretty much. I don't have that much significant time. I think I streamed the game for maybe an hour and 15, and then I played on my own. I want to say yesterday for about maybe 40 minutes or so like that. So I didn't do anything significantly in the game. I'm hearing reports about like the PC. I thought I saw them post something on Twitter. Maybe you can, go into that. And I'm pretty sure you might have started the game. I think I saw something for you. And then obviously, I think they're claiming like PlayStation runs it best. I'm not too sure about that. But what have your feedback on the game? I don't know how much time you put into it, and like the current state of its performance.
That is it. I did start it yesterday. This is a case of like I thought we were kind of past this, but I mean, all right. So the state of the consoles isn't as bad as PC. What's going on? Yes, I would say the PS5 is the most consistent. If we're not considering, if we're looking at consoles only, I would say the PS5 is the most consistent performance mode. Quality mode is they're both kind of the same between the consoles. But yeah, this is definitely a situation where they're just kind of like apologists and kind of just brushing the performance under a rug, because it's definitely, especially for the PC reviews. Like you look at the PC reviews, it was like at an 81 when I saw, and like you look at the PC reviews for like Last of Us Part 1, that's at like in the 50s on Metacritic. Honestly, this port is worse than Last of Us Part 1. To be honest, this shit is worse. And the reason why it's worse, the problem with Last of Us Part 1, there's a couple of problems. Like the VRAM usage was kind of crazy. Well, it still is kind of crazy. And like they had like problems with like mouse. They had really bad mouse movement and shit like that. And like the pre-compiling shaders took like a fucking hour. Ridiculous shit. But the game when it ran, and it had like CPU performance issues, but nowhere near as bad as this fucking game. Like I played through that game on like the fourth or so patch for Last of Us Part 1. I got 60 plus FPS basically all the way throughout the game. Like I said, with max settings. This game is a different fucking story. The biggest problem is it's so CPU bound. And we don't know as specifically as to why. It's kind of like the Gotham Knights situation when that game originally came out. Like it's basically the same type of thing where the PC version we saw why the console versions are stuck at 30 FPS because the PC version it's so poorly optimized on a similar type of CPU like a Ryzen 3600. The game was like going from 60 to where you're driving the Batmobile is going down to 30, it's stuttering, yada yada. It's like what the fuck is going on? But you go back indoors and it's up like 80, 90 FPS. It doesn't make sense. It's a similar situation, but at this point in time, I think the CPU performance, it's trashed across the board. Open world in the beginning, indoors, it doesn't really matter. It's just constantly being trashed.
Yeah.
Like my PC, I have one of the best CPUs you can get. It's a 5800X 3D. And I have a 4090. My 4090 is asleep when I'm playing this game. I played it max out. It doesn't matter. Like my CPU is at like, and the problem is utilization. The game is not properly utilizing your full piece. It's not properly utilizing your full CPU. Most games, if they're difficult on the CPU, it'll still be multi-threaded. Like a Plague Tale, for example, that game is very well multi-threaded. It's demanding on your CPU, but it's multi-threaded. So you'll see utilization up 70, 80% if it's fully utilizing your CPU. This game, I'm at like 30% utilization, and my GPU is also at like 30 or 40%. So I'm like, bro, if you look at it, if you like go through and like look at the cores that are being used, it's like 2 cores that are being used or 2 threads. It's like, what the fuck is this game doing? You're really just utilizing 2 threads? Like those are bottlenecked, and my rest of my CPU is not being used. It's not properly multi-threaded. So the game is just bottlenecking itself off rip. And you see a lot of these people complaining because it's like, bro, I can't get, no matter the resolution or settings I put on my game, I can't get above 40 or 50 FPS. And it's like, bro, it's literally just like super single core dependent because of that. And it's just trash. Like you'll see people playing, like they'll put on FSR2 on ultra performance mode at 720p at low settings, and it'll get like 50 FPS. It doesn't make sense. You're removing all the GPU bottleneck you can and all the CPU bottleneck you can because some settings are affected by the CPU. You put every setting to low and you're still not above 60 FPS. It's incredible. This game came out a couple months way too early. Like this game at least needs a couple of months in the oven.
And this game was delayed a month, right? I think it was only delayed like about 4 weeks.
I believe so. And it truly sucks because it's like this is definitely a good game, but I'm gonna wait for patches. Honestly, like with my setup, I'm like hovering at 60 FPS. Sometimes I'm above it, sometimes I'm below it. I'm just like, I'm gonna wait because like I can literally get double the FPS if this is properly like optimized, but I'm not. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'll wait. I don't care. I'll play. Oh, sorry, another game I actually been playing. I've been playing Bayonetta 3. I've been emulating that game. Decent game, but yeah, I'll just rather play that instead. It's like because this performance is ridiculous, and on top of the people having like bugs and shit. Like I watched. I haven't watched the Digital Foundry video for it. They just posted
I think they just dropped it today. Ago. Yeah. But for the PC version though, I don't think they did it. It's not covering consoles to my knowledge.
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think so. But like the bugs that were happening with it, like there was a texture bug that's going on with Xbox. Like you pause the game and you unpause, the textures have to reload back in. It's like, bro, who the fuck? No one QA tested this? Like, how does this not get past QA testing? Or how does this get past QA testing? Like, none of this shit was tested. And then it has shader. And another funny thing, it has shader compilation stutter. Yet it says that there's shader compilation. So either it's lying or it's not compiling all the shaders. Like when you boot up the PC version, and it says it every time that you turn on the game that's compiling shaders. Typically speaking, you only have to compile shaders
once, right?
Once. You only have to compile it once, yeah. Either after an update or after you download a new driver. Why is it compiling every time it's starting, but it's still not compiling everything because you're still getting shader comp stutter? This game is just a fucking mess.
And I think let me check what's the current meta critic for this game. I know this was, people were, the expectation for this game, and it probably still is based off the, minus performance.
Just the merit of the game.
Yeah. Game of the year sort of like material right now on PS5 is an 86. On Xbox, it's an 87. On PC, it's a 79. So, I mean, it's still decent. And that 79 is literally purely based off its performance. But the user scores are all, I want to say, relatively low. I think on PC, it's like a 1 point something. And right now, I don't think there's even a user score available for the console versions for some reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say some other things like, so the consoles, the Series X and the PS5, they have ray tracing.
Yeah, and their quality mode it's limited ray tracing. It's cheap ray tracing though.
No. The thing is, hold on. The thing is, I would say it's because it's an AMD sponsored title and they don't really go hard on ray tracing because. Of course, AMD cards aren't the best in terms of ray tracing, so they try to limit it, just like in Forspoken, where it's like it's not very good. But like they have ray tracing, but it's also in quality. It's in quality and performance mode. But they were kind of disingenuous because it's like you look at the quality and performance modes of the consoles. They say, "Oh, quality mode's 4K, the performance mode's 1440."
Yeah, bruh.
It's upscaled. But nah,
dude,
the internal res is much lower.
Dude, when I first booted up the game and I made sure I started to stream on it, right, because this is one of the rare games that when you select performance or quality mode, they have a side by side comparison, like at the screen on the console, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, so before I even read the text, I looked at performance mode and I looked at quality mode. I was like, okay, so clearly quality mode is 1440p or better, and performance mode is like sub 1080p. Because I was like, that blurriness, and there's no way this is like a targeting like a high resolution. I was like, I really got to see if the game's actually going to look like that, because that's a significant difference. So, and then they learned it because they in the menus, they tell you it's 1440p, but they don't tell you that's not its true native resolution. What is it in performance though? Is it what, 900p or some shit like that?
Yeah. It's 900p and quality. It is 1440 upscaled to 4K. But the thing is, this is unfortunately the problem of AMD upscaling, and this is why another reason why people on PC are mad. This game is using Unreal Engine 4. It's incredibly easy on Unreal Engine 4 games to put in DLSS. Mm-hmm. It's literally a toggle. Like literally in the Unreal Engine 4 editor, it's a literal toggle to turn on DLSS and have it in the game. So all you'd have to do is have to toggle that on, and then put in the graphics UI, allow for the DLSS to be turned on with its quality settings. FSR2 doesn't look good, unfortunately. Yeah. FSR2 is what AMD used as the open source thing to, combat DLSS. Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't look good.
You know what's funny about the whole argument about FSR now, and I'm going to say this, like, obviously here on the Xbox side, You know, you heard a lot of us complain, and some individuals complain like, why are they using FSR like for upscaler so they can get like, you know, high frame rates or high resolutions to save on performance. And based off my experience with FSR, just on games that actually use it on consoles, and then it being an option on PC, it's not that great. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't help the pictures. It's not like an equal to DLSS from what I know and from what have I experienced. So, and I know a lot of developers, and there's a lot of engines that have their own alternative upscaling techniques to like sort of meet performance demands or to save on, you know, resolution or whatever as an alternative to FSR. But FSR, I'm just saying to anybody that like, you know, keep saying, why aren't they using FSR? I mean, you shouldn't, you know, want every game to utilize FSR to hit like a 4K 60, because it's not, if it's not used right, it's not a pretty sight. I'd rather, you know, someone come up with their own alternative. But I remember, like, for example, Asterigos Curse of the Stars. I played that, and that uses FSR on console, and it's not. And I actually don't understand why it uses it, because it's not a pretty game. It's not like it's targeting like super. I was playing on PC and I went to like Xbox. I'm like, damn, man, this game doesn't look that demanding. But like, you know, when you play on PC, it looks like how I expected it to look like, right? At like higher resolutions, I was like, okay, this thing looked clean. I went to console, I feel like I took a hit on resolution, even though it's supposed to be like 4K, but it's using like FSR like by default. You can't turn it off. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, this is not really a pretty game. But it was fun nonetheless. But yeah, like FSR. So pretty much what's going on with this game is this is an AMD promoted title, you said, right? So yeah. FSR so DLSS is not an option in this game.
None at all. Unless somebody were to mod it in, I hope they do, because FSR is not good look. It's kind of apparent. Like I don't know if you know who Hardware Unboxed is, but it's basically like he's a PC hardware reviewer essentially, and he did a comparison of FSR versus DLSS, basically, in like a bunch of titles, like 30 titles. And basically none of the titles did it ever look better. And like he gave examples of it like on the screen as to what they would look like versus native resolution. None of those titles ever looked better with using FSR. And it's like 4K with quality FSR, which is like internal 1440p, what Jedi is doing. It looks okay. It's usable. Anything under that is fucking garbage. Honestly, anything under 4K, using in quality, which is internally 1440p resolution, anything under that looks bad. Like you go to 1440p resolution using quality, it looks terrible. Honestly, like, and that's unfortunate, because all you guys necessarily have as an open source option is FSR 2. Unless AMD makes it better, that's all you guys got. But for example, like like you were saying, like if there are companies that make their own version of it or their own upscaling technique, like for example, Insomniac has a fantastic upscaling technique. It looks like their games are upscaled on PlayStation consoles, like the PS5 with like Spider-Man and stuff. It looks fantastic. And even on PC with Spider-Man on PC, their upscaling technique is fantastic. It's comparable to DLSS. But yeah, it looks really bad. Like seeing the comparison shots of like a PlayStation 5 in quality mode versus performance mode, and then versus like native 4K on PC, it's a night and day difference between that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit is performance mode on consoles is fucking blurry.
Yeah, I'm not. It's to the point where I kept asking myself, and I usually don't do this. It was like, all right, how do I want to continue playing this game? Do I want to because obviously when you switch to quality mode, the image clears up. It looks a lot better. But is I'm not sure if I like the trade-off, right? And I messed around with it a little bit. It's not too bad, but it's like, I didn't accustom myself to playing at like a higher frame rate. That it's hard to go back. That's why with this whole, Redfall thing that's coming up, it's like, I'm about to uninstall it, like, because I pre-downloaded it a long time ago, like once it became available. I think this was before that 60 FPS news. I'm uninstalling. I'm not going to have it even installed on my Xbox. I'm literally going to just play it directly on my PC until that patch is ready, because I just don't see myself doing it. Jedi, I don't even think Jedi should get a passes right now, because they've already updated. The last game runs, I think flawlessly. Even though it's purely last gen. Question is this game cross-gen or no?
No, this game is only on next gen.
Okay.
And it's fucking poorly optimized. It's like consoles are constantly performance mode consoles are constantly dropping in like the 50 FPS mark. They have PlayStation 5 and Xbox has both traversal stuttered, but sometimes it happens for one and not the other for whatever reason. Yeah. It depends on your playthrough. Like it all depends. But they both have traversal stutter, like you said, where it'll freeze the frame. It'll freeze for a second and then, carry on. Yeah,
and the thing is, I understand. I understand that the question's answered. I do understand the question's answered, but I don't like when a lot of these tech analyst dudes, when they're doing a comparison, and I get why it's doing it, but when they're doing these performance comparisons, it's always highlighting the performance when you're doing shit you're not really doing, like the cutscenes, the walking sequence. And I'm sick of the games. Like, my biggest complaint with games now is the whole easing me in with these whole walking sequences and stuff that you can't control. All you can do is just move the analog stick and look around. Those fillers, those things drive me nuts, dude. It's like I just want to skip it. But
I mean, that is comparable. If you want to compare something like for comparable gameplay.
But the problem is the issue I have with that is that when those things happen in video games, right? Developers in a game is allowed to shine. Like, you can ramp everything up visually at that point, because you're not controlling anything. Everything's controlled. Nothing's going to cause you're not gonna swing a lightsaber or a sword, hit something, and it have super hyper effects happen that help tank the frame rate. The thing is, the game is essentially at that moment running pretty much freely, and at those points of the game, everything is highly detailed.
I don't believe so, because specifically speaking, that's all in engine. Like the Jedi, for a Jedi Survivor, when you're walking, when you're a prisoner and you're walking, that's in gameplay. That they're not changing the assets from that to when you get the lightsaber. They're not changing the assets. It's the same world.
Yes,
they're not changing anything.
I don't know.
That you're in the same area.
Yeah,
and you're freely moving, like you're actually moving during that. You're controlling the character. So it's not like it's not some cutscene. You're physically playing.
But my thing is, what makes that? The thing is, so what I guess what I'm trying to say is, those parts of the game, right? I don't want nobody to show me that, right? And be like, all right, this game is, bad performance, because when I was playing that, it didn't matter, I guess, what frame rate I was targeting, because I was just walking. I wasn't doing anything. I need to see it more in action. Then I ended up watching a video, I think, after you guys, to see where it was, and it just seems like the game is really like a 50 FPS sort of game that can hit 60, and which is unfortunate, because would you consider we're still early in the gen, or are we midway through, depending on I don't know how long this gen's gonna last.
No. We're in the Middle Ages now, man. Like we're I guess technically still early, because this is not 3 years yet. It would be 3 years in December, or I guess technically still early. I guess because 2 years. I would suggest this. I would say that this gen would at least last 8 years, especially with the the problem with COVID and stuff. That original problem. So I guess technically still early, but still, it's unacceptable though.
Yeah, I can't point to one. Cross-gen games have been really what helped these consoles shine. In my opinion, a lot of these quote unquote next gen only games have been kind of really not that impressive. Some of them impressed in low times, Some have impressed with their, ray tracing capability, but these consoles, the games that got the most, out of these consoles have been cross-gen games. Like, for example, Dead Island 2, which is on the screen now, it's a cross-gen game, but as far as performance, looks, it's right up there with a lot of these next-gen only games. Sure, it plays like and looks not that great on like the last gen consoles, but on current gen consoles, man, it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. It performs great, looks great. No issues.
I mean, I would attest to that as well. Because you look at games like God of War, Horizon. These are all cross-gen titles.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Burning Shores does look better than original Forbidden West. It does look better. And it does run well. It's not well. I guess the only drops that they saw in like Digital Foundry video was when they were in the city area. That's where they bump up, geometry and they bump up view distance. It's a very dense city.
Yeah.
In that one city that they showed, but I do think overall, like seeing the it's a 60 FPS and it's a lock at 60 FPS type of hype has definitely been from cross-gen experiences.
Yeah.
Because they're not pushing as hard. They're not, redlining these consoles as much because they have to accommodate for the previous hardware. But to be fair though, I do think it's still not an excuse to not have a consistent 60 FPS. It takes a lot of, play testing and a lot of QA and going back and fixing things, changing dials and shit. But it needs to be done though. That's the thing. There's no excuse for it. It still needs to be done. There still needs to be proper optimization. You shouldn't be seeing games dropping below their 30 FPS target. You shouldn't be seeing games dropping below their 60 FPS target. You shouldn't be seeing games coming out broken or on PC. These things shouldn't be happening, regardless. But
and it's really disappointing, because you factor in everything else. You factor the price increase to games going to $70. The hype of obviously everything that's in these consoles, RDNA 2, SSDs, and games still having like to trade off between either 30 FPS, 60 FPS performance modes being very, very like scaled back visually, and then now like the bugs that are happening, the games coming out hot, coming in unfinished. The thing, my take on it, I was going to tweet this out, but I didn't know how it would sound. I think I picked the wrong time to put my foot in my mouth, but the thing is I think like I remember I don't know how, like back in the day we used to buy like CDs, right? Every Tuesday somebody would drop an album, right? And when CDs would come out, they would come out on sale, right? They never release at their full price that Tuesday. So you like the best time to buy an album would have been the release week, which it would have been like $10 opposed to $20 or $15, however much it was going to cost like for the rest of its life cycle. I think games need to do that, especially if they're going to be coming in half baked, requiring a day 1 patch, a day 30 patch, a check-in patch. I think games should not launch at its full price. I think every game, AAA games especially, should launch at like a discounted price of like, $50-$60 on sale for that week. And then once after that, 2-3 weeks go by and then they can get its regular lifetime price. It should do that. And by then their day 1 patches, their fixes should be in my personal opinion. I blame it on Game Pass for making me a cheap gamer. But at the end of the day, it's ridiculous to like, we're in a situation where we are accustomed to like, okay, just wait on day 1 patch. Like, you know what I mean? Even reviewers, it's the point where reviewers, right? Reviewers get access to a game, right? They got to play it. a week to 2 weeks before it gets to the public, but they're playing the unpatched version. It was like, all right, we're gonna, omit these bugs because we've been briefed that a day one patch is coming or a day zero patch is coming, a day before release. So now they have to, a lot of them omit the bugs they experience from their review because, hey, maybe when the people get it, they won't experience those. And then when we get the games in the hands, it's like, all right, we're playing it, we're experiencing like the bugs, the frame drops, and all this other stuff. And then like, oh well, patch is gonna be out, this week, And so that's why unless I'm getting a review code or if a game is dropping day one on Game Pass, I'm not buying a lot of these games. I wasn't planning on buying Jedi Survivor day one. Not because I didn't like it, because I enjoyed the shit out of the first one. I had no issue with the game. I just figured, and I don't know if they even had. I just assumed they would have a trial. Do they have an EA Access trial on this game?
Yeah, you can try it on for $15. Well, I don't know if it's the same thing on console, but I know on PC on EA, if you get EA Play Pro, it's $15 a month. You can play the full game. Because that's pretty much how I was gonna treat it. Because I know with like games like Madden and NHL and all these other games that EA drop with Game Pass, you get the 10-hour trial. But EA kind of are iffy when it comes to like these games like that can probably be beaten in 15 to 20 hours, and they kind of omit those games. So I figure I was like, well, if they have a trial, just play the trial, and then by the time I'm done with the trial, I'll be able to buy the game. Or if I'll buy the game, maybe the patch would be out before I'm through with my 10 hours. That's how I was going to treat that game. Or if it wasn't going to have a trial, then I was just going to wait. So that's pretty much how I've been like treating a lot of these games, is that nothing's really worth a day one. Nothing's worth like, a pre-order or pre-download, especially in this day and age. You don't have to worry about any of these games being sold out or anything like that. But I just don't like the expectation that we have, or the standard that gaming is today, that, nothing has to launch complete. Nothing has to launch broken, and you know what I mean? And I'm still salty, obviously, about the RedFall 60 FPS, and we're gonna have to we could talk
definitely talk about that because they're the physical copies are they're making their rounds. They're getting delivered to the stores, so you could tell this game is coming in extremely hot because on the box it advertises 60 FPS, just like the Xbox store page did it on when you prior to that announcement on the store page, you could check what the game's going to have. If it's going to have ray tracing, this is going to have 120 FPS modes or anything like that. The resolution, it tells you that in the tech specs area of the store page, and it said all that. You know what I mean? It said it'll be like 4K. It said it'll be 60 FPS and whatnot. It didn't say obviously ray tracing. Didn't say 120 FPS, but it did say 60 FPS. Once that announcement came, I did my live stream or my video, and I was like, let me check. Cause I was like, I checked the store page on RedFall. Like I don't know why, call me an idiot, but I used to do it like every other day just to, because I'm excited. And that's how I learned they were actually dropping the game at May 1st at 8 p.m. versus May 2nd. The game really comes out on May 1st at 8 p.m. unless they change that. But, I would check it. I went on my video and I was like, yeah, it still says 60 as I go. And I was like, oh, of course, they changed it. So it doesn't say that. But however, they didn't change the physical copies, which says it. And they're going to put like
those are already printed.
And they already printed. So it's like, I'm curious to see how this is going to go. I mean, I don't know if you have anything more to say about Jedi, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Dre the Great will probably, get his, take on that. But Redfall has been sort of in the news. It's been being overshadowed by a couple of things, and I think that's a little bit good for them, but it's going to rear its ugly head fairly soon.
Yeah, I would say the last thing I was going to say about what you were going on about how the state of games and how they're pricing. I mean, we could hope for that for them to do that, but you already know how these companies are. You're never going to see a game release at a lower, at a discount or something like that. And then, come up to its full pricing once it's actually finished. I wish it was something like that, but unfortunately, we would never see that. But in regards to how like state of games are. I think honestly, I think the way the move that they're going into is kind of like the more and more that I don't know, just like every generation, they're just like making consoles more and more just cumbersome and like they're making it more of a problem to deal with. Like for example, I believe Jedi Survivor, you like the game doesn't come installed on the disc. You have to install the disc. It's like what? Or if I'm correct about that, like you have to basically like you put the disc into your system, right? And you have to wait for it to install. It has to download, correct? Like they were doing this with Call of Duty and stuff like that. Like that's the reason people buy a physical disc is so they can have the physical disc. Like physical discs now are basically a key. It's like a key that says, "Oh, I'm allowed to download this game." No, you're removing the point of physical discs. It's like I understand why consoles exist, and they're kind of removing that importance of just being easy, accessible, quick, fun to play. It's like I don't know why games are doing that now. It's fucking weird. But yeah, we can get into Redfall though.
Yeah, so Redfall, you know, obviously I don't even think I did a podcast to announced that this game was going to be only launching with a quality mode at 30 FPS. That on Xbox, you know, consoles, next gen only game, launching on Xbox and PC. As I know, as of right now, I don't know anybody who has a review code. I clearly don't have one. They haven't answered or responded to the backlash, to the feedback of the 30 FPS announcement. They kind of just threw it out there and just kept quiet. I started to see advertisements of the game ramp up a little bit. Still looking forward to the game, more so because I have other ways to play, and there's a path to 60 FPS for me. I believe so. My PC will determine that fairly soon. I'll find out sooner than later. But these guys, man, it's not looking good for the game. For a game to look the way it does, it's running on a last gen engine, Unreal Engine 4. It's running on current, next gen consoles, most powerful console. They only had to focus on the Xbox consoles and PC, which is essentially one thing, because PC development, developing for Windows and developing for Xbox is I don't think it's too drastic. It's just one's a closed platform and the other. Well,
to be fair, there's a lot of different. They have to account for a lot of configurations. They have to make sure that their game is very scalable on PC, whether CPU, GPU, RAM, resources, whether it works well with Windows 10 or Windows 11 with its. There is more that they definitely have to accommodate for than, for example, just doing PS5 and Xbox.
Yeah,
like two closed platforms. There is more that you have to accommodate for, but
so. The game, so obviously the game came under fire for that, and everybody's kind of like decided whether they're going to wait for the patch. Some going to play on PC. I originally was going to wait for the patch because I figured, Jedi Fallen Order would be, good enough to get me through. And I'll probably end up playing through Jedi Fallen Order. I'm assuming that it's good before the game even comes out. But the fact that they got these things printed with 60 FPS on the back, and they have to rely on like retailers, or they have to put stickers on it to say 60 FPS not available now. You know what I mean? It's not a good look. That's not really. It's setting up a bad precedent. It's a bad look on Xbox for like just allowing that to happen. I'm still curious of how long it's going to take them to get that, because I can see if it was like a couple weeks out, you know what I mean? I think what I hope they don't do is do some bullshit where, they're going to just, dog walk us into this thing and then hope that we forget about it. And then it turns out to be like some sort of like 6 months wait, and it will be like a part of like, you know how Halo where everything's got to be part of a fucking season, right? Like by the time ray tracing comes to, you know, Halo, it'll be like season like 6. Like, it probably
they shouldn't even bother, bro.
Yeah,
they shouldn't even fucking bother with that those shadows, bro.
Yeah, man. My thing is I wouldn't want I don't even want like ray tracing on like Halo Infinite's like multiplayer. But I appreciate it for its campaign. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just see what they did, because they like the campaign. Some of their interiors, you know, look good. I'm curious to see how some of that would like turn out.
I think it's only ray traced sun shadows.
Sun shadows. All right,
if
then,
I remember correctly.
Oh, if that's the case, then they can hold it. They can hold it. I don't want it. I'm sick and tired of this weather ray tracing. That should drive me nuts when somebody say they have ray traced sun and shit like that. Like, I'm like, okay.
AMD is another sponsored AMD title. Or Halo is.
It is. I do recall it came with the RX cards that year that it came out?
Yeah, they had a 6900 XT Halo edition.
Yeah. Okay. The green one. It was like a green card, right? Yeah.
Yeah, green and gold.
Yeah.
It looked nice.
Old Man Logan, what's up? I don't know if you can hear us.
So I kind of wanted to tackle the RedFall thing.
Please.
All right. So starting off, you already know you got the information that it's going to be 30 FPS. Now they came out with the PC hardware specification.
I saw that. Yep. Yeah, and I definitely want your thoughts on that, but go ahead.
All right. There we go.
Sup, Logan?
Discord fucked up and it took my microphone out. So I was like, why is shit not going?
Oh shit.
But like, deactivate. But yeah, I'm here.
Sup, Logan?
So yeah, what's up? So in terms of the hardware specifications, it doesn't really tell me fucking much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because they don't specify anything. They specify Windows 10, have a SSD, and for whatever reason, if you're on ultra performance, be on Windows 11. What the fuck does that mean? Why the fuck do I need to change my operating system in order to properly? It doesn't even make sense. And it's not like, I don't know, Windows 11, it has different like GPU and like hardware scheduling.
Yeah.
But like that wouldn't make that much of a fucking difference. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. But yeah, it doesn't specify what resolution. It doesn't specify what graphic settings. It doesn't specify fucking anything. It just says minimum, recommended, ultra. But with that being said, if we're going on how typically this works, typically minimum specs is for 1080p or lower at low settings, 30 FPS. Typically speaking, recommended settings is for 1080p or higher, 60 FPS. And if that were the case, then Xbox gamers are being fucking shafted. They're being fucking like straight up, they're getting fucked. Because it doesn't make any sense. The recommended specs is an Intel Core i9, i7 9700K, or Ryzen 7 2700X. That Intel processor doesn't even have fucking hyper-threading. That Ryzen 7 CPU is literally worse than what's in the fucking Xbox consoles. That's not Zen 2, that's Zen Plus. It's 8-core Zen Plus. So that's just worse. GPU, AMD 5700. That's weaker than a Series X. Or NVIDIA RTX 2080. 2080 is about what a Series X is. So I guess it probably runs better on AMD, with that being considered. 8 gigabytes of VRAM is what's required. System RAM, 16 gigabytes, Windows 10. If that is what's required for 60 FPS, what the fuck is stopping Microsoft from putting 60 FPS, or sorry, Bethesda putting 60 FPS on Xbox?
Yeah.
The Series S.
What the fuck? The thing is, that doesn't matter, because it's not a matter. The thing is, I remember when they were talking about specifically with Diablo 4, I remember DF was doing a DF weekly on it, where they're talking about there needs to be feature parity in term. Well, no, sorry, not feature parity. There needs to be gameplay parity in terms of like what the games can do. Like you can't have like the game doing something different. Like it can't be a different version of said game on the Series X, for example. But in terms of like FPS, it doesn't matter whether the Series S is doing 30 or 60. It doesn't fucking matter. That type of parity is not required. So why the fuck is there no 60 FPS option for Series X? Because these CPU requirements, I was thinking that RedFall, the problem with RedFall was, the CPU requirements are too high. It's 4-player co-op and you can go anywhere on the map. There's no tether. Okay, I understand that. Good, fair enough. There's a CPU requirement that's high. Even Ultra Specs has the same 9700K and 2700X. The CPU does not seem like it's the limitation. So what the fuck is stopping the 60 FPS mode? What the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm not gonna hold you.
I would really like to know what's stopping 60 FPS for being, because we've already seen games opt for 30 FPS on the Series S and 60 FPS on the Series X and then get patched later for the Series S to get. So that's why it's hard for me to say, you know what, this is a Series S problem. And when I saw the specs and based off what you said, Bless, I was like, okay, well, maybe I might have a better experience, a decent experience based off these settings. But then again, with Xbox settings on PC, their games, it's usually not that like, what's the detailed? Like, it's usually not a whole host of options. You know what I mean? At least from the games that I played, I don't play a whole lot of them on PC, but I noticed they kind of keep everything sort of like basic. But then again, I'm also usually playing like the Windows version and not the Steam version. So that's also not saying much.
I mean, there are differences between the Steam version of games and the Windows version. Like, annoyingly, like the Steam version is usually the better version. Like, for example, Trek to Yomi, that game for whatever reason on Xbox Game Pass, I tried it on. That game was constantly crashing on me. Like the first area was constantly crashing, and for whatever reason, it doesn't even have English. It doesn't have English. What do you call it? An English voice acting the version of it on Game Pass for whatever fucking reason. But on the Steam version, it has English voice acting. It's an option. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, how do you not have an option that should be on everything? That doesn't even make sense. And the Steam version didn't crash either. There's multiple examples of this. Like also with what's the fuck of that game? Streets of Rage 4.
Mm-hmm.
That game, there's like half the settings menu on Xbox is not even available, or on the Xbox Game Pass version is not available, or is on Steam but not available in the Xbox Game Pass version. Like I don't know what the fuck. There's no parity with the different versions, which is fucking stupid. But
yeah, I think is to standardize it like with the whole Windows Play Anywhere thing, and I think that's why when I'm usually playing games on PC, with the example, obviously Ghostwire Tokyo, when I played that, I was playing a Steam version. I haven't tried it on Game Pass to see if it like was a performance difference. I meant to do that to try to dabble in that, but no, there's usually a difference between like this Steam version and like the Xbox version, for PC version for the same games, like whether it be settings, options, there's not the same level of customization that's there. And hence why their games have to be like come to Steam day one, because PC gamers are not typically happy with the Xbox version, the Windows Store version of the games and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think also like compatibility issues with different things that.
And also the launcher just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Flat out. It just sucks.
Logan, before we babble on, it's been a while since we spoke. What have you been playing over the past week or so?
The past week, Dead Island, and then we got a review code for Jedi Survivor, so I started that up late Thursday night, and been playing it basically on and off here from Friday to today. And that's been it. Dead Island and Jedi Survivor, dude.
Okay.
That's been what we're rocking.
Well, I mean, we're past embargo. You're able to speak on your thoughts on Jedi so far, whether it be the game itself, the performance. We spoke briefly about it earlier. Well, we spoke in detail about it earlier, but being that you've had a review access to it, I'm pretty sure you've have a decent amount of time so far as of today in it.
Yeah, so one, I'm loving the game outside of performance issues. So it's got everything that I've wanted. It expands off of, Fallen Order quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then but it's just like the performance issues a little rocky.
Yeah.
I'm playing on performance mode. So I'm not doing quality mode, doing performance. And it does dip quite a bit. I would still pick performance over quality because when it does hit that 60 FPS, like the combat's very fluid and so it just seems like they made the levels and stuff, like the worlds are way more massive than I think the first one. And that's what's taking a big hit, I want to say, probably in performance wise, because there is a lot in this game for sure. I spent, I think, like 6 or 7 hours just in the first world alone. Just trying to explore everything, do like the side quests, but they're called rumors in this game. And I like that the worlds feel a little bit more alive. Because there's people around there. There's like a little town in the first world that you get in that you can go meet stuff, and they got a couple little like mini games you can do, and they got like a jukebox with like music playing and stuff. In like the kind of cantina bar. But no, I'm loving Fallen Order so far. I like I said, outside performance issues, it's a solid game. So hopefully they get. I know that they said they was working on patches, but they only put out a PC notice. They didn't really talk about consoles when they did that whatever, when they were like, hey, we know the PC's performance, blah blah blah. But I wonder, what's their thoughts on the console versions, because it's a little rough. And seeing like the Digital Foundry comparison where like the Series X dipped to like 20 frames a second, something like that, it was like 19. I'm like, god damn. But the shift between the one little thing that's a little bit jarring to me is a shift between the cutscenes to gameplay, because the cutscenes are set at lock 30. So when you go from like a cutscene to like gameplay, it's just a little jarring, because like the cutscenes aren't rendered at 60 FPS, they're rendered at 30. And but no, I'm having lots of fun with it. I know we got our code super late, so I don't know when I'm going to get the review out for it, because I literally got the code at like 8 p.m. on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I would have had a little bit more time to play for it, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
Have you experienced any bugs?
So I've seen what people have had. Like I saw like some dude got stuck floating in the air. I haven't had any type of like weird bugs like falling through the maps or being stuck in any area yet so far. But like I said, that's just my experiences. I haven't come across those. The only issues I've come across is like the frame rate dips and stuff. I did have so far, I want to say I got like 10 hours of playtime so far in it. I've had one crash on PlayStation 5. I did actually have one crash where it literally shut down it just booted out of the game, hard closed the game. So
I can't stand games crashing like that. That should drive me nuts.
Yeah, especially like that game, because it's set up like I lost a little bit of progress because that's just how the game's set up. So I had to like go back and like make sure I got like the collectibles and the stuff when I rebooted back up, like again, because I got set backwards a little bit. But I'm enjoying it. I'd recommend it. I mean, if you're a guy that wants better performance, obviously wait for patches and stuff that would be coming out. But overall, like me being obviously a big Star Wars fans with almost like a armful of Star Wars tattoos, like it's hitting that need for me, or that Star Wars itch for me.
Yeah, I I can't wait to play it when it's fucking patched.
I will
So-
say respawn
that.
is like Respawn's one of the best purchases I think anybody's ever made for an acquisition. Because they've put out like nothing but pretty solid games since they've been around.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Respawn's my favorite developer. It's like the top one. They are like the most consistent, and they go across multiple genres. They're
Like EA got
they're
a
the
fucking
best right now.
steal out of that studio, dude. EA got a steal. That
Oh,
was like the one
absolutely.
thing like upset me, dude. When the first Titanfall came out, I always said Xbox should have bought them.
Oh, yeah,
Xbox,
yeah.
but Xbox dropped the bag on that one and decided they wanted to focus on Activision instead.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Xbox-
Well, I think EA had first right of refusal on Respawn.
I know, but I'm just making light of it because that's a way better investment, I would say, than $7
Yeah.
billion.
I mean, there's a whole lot of like I think
Especially
studios
like,
out there.
The
Like,
bags that were
especially-
dropped.
Yeah, especially like Insomniac out of their bag. They another top tier developer that got bought on a cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I think Embracer picked up something cheap too from Square Enix.
Was it Crystal?
Yeah, Crystal
Oh, yeah.
and Idios and all their IPs. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for like 300 million. And
Yeah,
then sold,
something-
yeah,
yeah,
sold
yeah,
Tomb
it's-
Raider
Amazon,
back
dude.
for like the same amount.
yeah,
It's crazy.
came up, hit a lick. So Logan, I mean, I don't know how much time. I mean, are you getting Redfall?
I mean, I'm not getting it. I want to play it in Game Pass. I ain't
Well,
You're playing it
Like, I
at
got-
30 FPS?
like I got it pre-installed. I'm gonna boot it up and try it. Like, I mean, I got it,
Mhm.
but the fact that Xbox out here with we got the most powerful console in the world and the system's still hitting that 30 FPS. That's just weird. I'd rather have like a game like Star Wars. I'd rather have that shit be trying to target 60 FPS and it dipping than just being locked. in
yeah.
And the whole whatever that box art stuff that came out where it's like FPS mode, like that, like what the fuck happened, dude? This game's been in the talks, and they talked about what this game like two years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago they announced this fucking game, and we still like are dealing with dumb shit about it. Like, come on.
Honestly, oh yeah, this is another thing I wanted to say. Smooth. This is the
I'm listening.
what's a good word for it? This
But
is
my-
the this
but
this
also,
is the
like-
most the highest point of showcasing that Xbox
Yeah.
management is not good.
This is their
This is
supposed
the
to be their
highest showcase.
first- You got to think. All right, this is Xbox's like since they acquired Bethesda. This is their biggest like title, like
Mhm.
from that acquisition, and really it's their biggest like title in the past 3 years. Like that is not like a sequel. Like right, like as a brand new IP, this is their first like huge title. And it's just got all this fucking negative press around it. They're just dropping the bag left and right on this shit, dude. Like, it's fucking. I don't know, dude. I'm so tired of like they just dropping the bag over and over and over.
It's honestly
they
it's a
kill-
show.
They kill their own hype for their games. Like
Yeah, they do.
I'm
They do.
not hyped for anything. Like I was hyped for Star Wars. Like I'm not hyped for Redfall.
Honestly, it's just a showcase that it's a just amalgamation over the years of just a showcase that they're just not as competent as you think they should be.
Yeah.
They're just not competent. Imagine shipping out how does this even work? How do you ship out packaging of a game without talking to the developer first on confirming that the 60 FPS mode will be even there at launch? Like, think about that. They had to print and press and create these packaging to ship out to these GameStops, these Best Buys, etc. You're telling me they didn't have no contact? They didn't have contact? They're in the same fucking company? Phil didn't go there, or whoever that job is to do that? You're telling me they didn't do that before? Like, this is just pure, unadulterated, terrible management. Xbox, Microsoft, they have had bad management for a very, very long time. And this is just a perfect showcase of it. There's no like there's no if and or buts about it. Like this is a perfect showcase of it. And that's what I was telling you before, Smooth. Like you remember we were having a conversation like a year ago. We were like, and I had explained to you how Xbox has bad management. Guess what? This is another showcase of it. It is what it is.
Before I can continue, I want to give a shout out to Alcoholic Gamer for the $2 super chat. He said Jaeger plus tropical Red Bull. Enjoy drinks on me. Man, that's a Red Bull is dangerous, by the way. I used to like Red Bull college days, but mixing it and then the Jaeger bomb, Jägermeister, what they call it. Good thing, good for a good time, but like at this stage in my life, I would never, drink a Red Bull again or mix anything with a Red Bull again. Yeah. So as far as the thing that's drive me nuts about Microsoft and Xbox is that the thing is, I think about Microsoft, I think about how much money and how much power they have. It's impossible to fathom that these mistakes, these errors are made by a company so powerful and rich. It just doesn't make sense. It's like these are mistakes I expect to make. You know what I mean? Like, I just started a new gaming company. Like this is shit I expect Amazon to make when they first launched their console or some shit like that, or Google. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which I'm not mad or like, oh my God, Google's so rich, how did they make that? Google entered a market that they, don't have any experience in, and shit happens, right? But it's inexcusable for Microsoft or Xbox. But sorry, Logan, go ahead.
No, I mean, I agree. You can't sit there and tout and hit all these like, oh, we've been doing this game and stuff for 20 years, and then be the most incompetent company, I think, when it comes to this.
Yeah,
for as big as they are,
2 decades they've been in the gaming industry, and how do you fumble on something like this 2 decades in? Like, you got to be fucking stupid, like super incompetent, like from head to toe. Like this is unacceptable. It literally unacceptable.
But this shit with Xbox is just pissing me off. If this showcase in June, they have to have big stuff, and this shit stuff's got to come out, man. Like, why are we waiting for everything? Like, there's been no. They did an accessibility update on Forza Motorsport, but again, like we have 7 other Forza Motorsports, so it's not like Forza 8's going to be like a big make or break it. It's just going to be the arcade, or not arcade, but track racer, which is good. I like Forza, but all these other big titles that they've been sitting on. Hellblade, Perfect Dark, Fable, Avowed, like all these like new nothing. Absolutely
nothing about them.
Fucking nothing, dude.
Hellblade announced. We see CGI, or we see CGI. Like we see concept art. Bro, Hellblade, 3 years. It's been announced since the Series X was announced.
December 2019.
It was announced at the same time.
And we've only seen one gameplay trailer from it. And who knows how much of that was actually like actual gameplay?
We can't say. Remember, matter of fact, like speaking of that, of not knowing, like remember Anthem, for example, when they originally showcased Anthem, we thought it was gameplay. No, that was a studio that created that. That wasn't the actual studio that created that. So we can't even say necessarily that was actual gameplay from Hellblade. Because honestly, I can't trust anything Xbox says. At this point in time, if you trust everything Xbox says, you're not very smart. You're not very competent, because obviously they showed themselves time and time again to be incapable. So like we haven't seen gameplay of the game since. We haven't seen a state of play, a 20-minute gameplay showcasing of the game since. Like at all. Where's State of Decay 3?
Yeah.
Like, bro,
I forgot that was
Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5.1 is out. Not even just 5. 5.1 is out. The new iteration is already out. We haven't even seen a fucking we haven't seen anything. We saw CGI 2 years ago.
I mean,
Like,
we haven't seen any games that Xbox announced between 2019 and 2020 that were in like concept phase. So State of K3, Avowed, Hellblade. I mean, Hellblade. I give them credit. They showed it in 2019 and they showed it again 2 years later. Gameplay, and they've been very involved with the Unreal like demos and stuff. So I get it. It should be out by now. So, but I'm not giving them too much. They've been teasing and showing shit every now and then, bro. But like, Avowed, Fable, Perfect Dark, stuff like that. Like I'm still like what's going on? Compulsion has been purchased 6 years ago and haven't showed anything.
Yeah, that was a pointless fucking.
Dre, I've been new. This Xbox has been mediocre, unfortunately speaking. Like they've been on this Game Pass. They've been pushing Game Pass this entire time, and we haven't seen many ever since 2018, since Game Pass has started. We haven't seen many fruits of it besides already existing IP, or we haven't seen much fruit of it besides already existing IP, like Horizon doing well already. Of course, it's gonna do well. It's fucking Horizon. Like that's already gonna continue to do well. Gears, honestly, Gears has gone on a decline in my opinion though, because Gears 1 through 3 are better games, but they're still good games. Gears 4 and 5 are still good games, but like, what have they really accomplished since 2018? Since they've gone through this new initiative, they haven't really done much. Psychonauts 2 is an old game that they picked up from a studio that was already crowdfunding it. Most of that game was already created. They're like, when they picked them back up, they were putting back stuff into the game because they were able to get more funding. But outside of already like created stuff, Ghostwire Tokyo, they didn't own Bethesda for that long for them to have that much influence on it. But Ghostwire Tokyo, I think it's okay. It's not amazing. It's okay. Deathloop, I think, is a better game. But Deathloop also, that was even less time. It came out before Ghostwire Tokyo. So they had even less influence on that game. So we're talking about very, very little influence on these games that are new IP. So it's like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. The Game Pass, they haven't really done anything. They haven't put out anything for themselves that has been influenced by Microsoft themselves that has shown to be a great game. They haven't done anything. Redfall is going to be the first title. Redfall is going to be the first title that has been most. I would think. I don't know when development for Redfall started, but I would say
it started around the same time as Deathloop.
Okay, so they have been in development for a while, but I would say this title would be the most. This is the title that they would have the most influence on. They've been on, it's been around for the longest amount of time. They would have the most influence.
A couple things. Like I'm not disagreeing with a lot of the things that you say. Like I have my gripes about Xbox. I think the reason why, like the whole how they treat the consoles and their games. One, I don't trust. I feel like Xbox could drop their best game tomorrow, and I still don't trust them to market it or advertise it well enough to get that message across.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen them advertise and put ads for Dead Island more than any of their normal games.
It's because of their you put out a tweet about them not marketing Hi-Fi Rush, for example. Which is a good game, actually. I guess in that particular, I don't know how long that development in that game, but that is one game that was, it was influenced by Xbox to a certain extent.
I don't think you should say like influence. The thing is, Xbox is not going to have any influence on what Bethesda does unless they ask Bethesda to make a game like from an IP that they own.
The problem is I'm talking about like having influence in terms of like checks and balances. Like, for example, you look at Sony with God of War, how Cory Barlog had checks and balances with Shuhei Yoshida that came in and looked at and monitored the game. Like, of course, Bethesda ZeniMax has their own setup, of course, but this is still your company. You still have to monitor what the fuck they're making. So they still have to hit a certain quality level. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you still have to hit a certain quality level. You still have to have management that comes in from Xbox in particular. There's a person's job that has to still come in and see checks and balances to see what's going on. That's what I mean about influence. Because depending on how that person feels about that particular game, it can change how a game is going to be made. It's like, oh, I like when he play tests it, that person, I don't know if it's Phil or somebody else. When that person play tests it, they'll have their own opinions and see what works and what doesn't work. They'll have their own fucking, opinion. But yeah, I don't think Xbox really has that, to be honest with you.
Oh well, technically, when you considering
or good version of that,
considering that ZeniMax is a whole publisher itself, I think that's remains in place to who've been helping them ship their games previously.
And sorry to cut you off, but and to my response to that, look at what Bethesda was doing beforehand. Their games were on a decline, bro. Not considering Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is the only one that was actually successful. If you look at Wolfenstein 2, Dishonored 2, like a Wolfenstein Youngblood, Fallout 76, all of these games were on a decline. That's why they were in the position to be bought in the first place, Smooth. Literally, that's why they were in a position that we need someone to buy us out because our company is declining. Our product is declining. All of their games, for the most part, were declining in sales and in general popularity in terms of happiness or like critical acclaim and stuff like that. They have been honestly declining. So to rely only on Bethesda's internal or ZeniMax's internal, like how they run things, that's not a good thing to do, bro. To be honest with you, because all their games are on a decline. Wolfenstein 2.
Well, but the games that are on a decline were actually good games. And what made the decline part was like their commercial success, being like able to sell. But like Doom and Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein 2 were actually fairly decently good. The Dishonored games, they were good. They just didn't sell.
They were on the decline in terms of quality. Wolfenstein 2's story is not the best. And Wolfenstein 2 is definitely not better than Wolfenstein 1 or the DLC. Doom Eternal is the only example. It's not. Doom Eternal is the only game that actually was better than the predecessor. Fallout 76 is a fucking awful game. That game is awful. It has a lot of sales, but the game itself is not good. It's not critically acclaimed. It's panned. It has gotten better but that's a problem. That's another showcase of put out a game, fix it later. That's another showcase of that. That's fucking terrible. You should not want that from your games. You should not want that. So relying on ZeniMax to handle its own stuff is not good. And also, for example, Dishonored 2 is not better than Dishonored 1. And also, Wolfenstein Youngblood, ZeniMax co-signed that. That is within, that's a product they put out. That game is fucking awful. I played and beat that shit myself. That game is fucking terrible. Terrible. I do not recommend anyone. I don't recommend my worst enemy to play that fucking game. Literally. Like, I don't recommend my worst enemy to play that game. So, them relying on only ZeniMax to handle only ZeniMax is not a good thing to do. That's basically what I'm getting at. Because their games have been on a decline for the most part.
I don't know. I don't think that the decline that these games were on were that steep. I think it was more so related to their commercial efforts. Now, I'm not saying like I don't count shit like Youngblood and shit. Those are like what standalone expansions or what do you call those things? Like side piece games.
Wolfenstein: The Old Blood was a standalone expansion. That game was fucking fantastic. That game is better than Wolfenstein 2.
I loved
Old Blood was fantastic.
Was so good.
New Blood or Old Blood? I forgot which one.
Wasn't the Wolfenstein Youngblood done by Arcane though? It was like that was an Arcane project.
I understand that, but guess what? That's still under the ZeniMax umbrella. And
but a lot of publishers are not. Publishers aren't. They're going to have some hits and some misses. I don't think that determines like, hey, they're on a decline because some of their games are less desirable than others. You know what I mean? No, there's not one publisher that only releases bangers. Not one.
I understand what you're getting at, but that project shouldn't have been put out in the first place because it's such a terrible it's such a terrible game on so many levels. Like I can sit here and explain to you for an hour of how bad that game is. Literally, I can sit here for a fucking hour and tell you and describe how bad that game is.
They put RPG elements in a Wolfenstein game, like
yes,
what?
and your weapon
enemies have levels.
Yeah, your
Like,
levels, and it's based upon your weapon, the weapon type of damage. The game fundamentally is fucking terrible. And what I'm trying to get at is they should have oversight from Xbox, because if they're putting out projects like that, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I understand like a project not being necessarily good from a like a project not necessarily being as good as others. But say, for example, let's look at this. Insomniac, for example. Have you ever looked at the games that Insomniac put out before they were acquired by Sony? They had a lot of hits. They had a lot of misses. A lot of games that were not worked on. A lot of games that were not worked on they put out a lot more than just Sony games. A lot of games that they did not work on specifically with Sony, a lot of those games were fucking trash. Like Sony, like Insomniac put out more games than like Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, Guerrilla Games did all combined in the last generation. They put out more games than all of them combined, but you don't even know about those games because they're not marketed, because those games are fucking bad. But guess what? When Insomniac was acquired by Sony, guess what came up? Their consistency and the quality. Guess what? Because of direct management from Sony. That's exactly my point. When they were acquired, what has been bad since they've been acquired? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, they've been acquired for a couple of years, and the games they made was Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank.
They put out 3 games.
Two Spider-Man games and Ratchet and Clank.
Since 2018, they put out 3 games.
2 Spider-Mans and Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, they put out 3
games. So, I mean,
games.
one they've been making for 30 years, and the other is like you really couldn't go wrong.
Really? You really couldn't go wrong? Whoa. You really couldn't go wrong? Did you play the Spider-Man games on the PS3 and 360?
I'm saying based
on... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I don't think you can go... Yeah, because
you absolutely can go wrong.
There has been good Spider-Man games made by others. Yeah, but I'm saying... But other studios have made good Spider-Man games. Not everyone, but there are some existing good Spider-Man games that exist that aren't by Insomniac.
And guess what, Smooth? Most of them are fucking bad.
No, I just told you there are some good games. I just told you there are some good games, good Spider-Man games that aren't made by Insomniac.
Smooth. Listen to the wording I just said. I said most of them are bad. You're saying some of them are good. I agree with you. The minority, the smaller percentage of the Spider-Man games are good.
There's more bad.
The majority of them are bad, bro. The majority, most of them are bad. You get me?
That's my point. Okay, and Insomniac is Insomniac is 2 for 2, and we're against the field, who has like of the how many Spider-Man games are there? There's several, and then some of them like I'm not gonna sit there and just say like I don't think Insomniac had an impossible feat to make a Spider-Man game. I'm just saying.
Like you weren't around the time you weren't playing these. Were you playing the Spider-Man games on the PS1 and PS2?
Yeah,
and on
one of my favorite games was what Spider-Man was. It 2?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2. And there are many other games besides that though.
There's Web of Shadows.
The highlighted Spider-Man games that were good. Mm-hmm. We're looking at Spider-Man 2. We're looking at. Some people I consider Web of Shadows as a great game, but some people don't like it. I understand why people may not like that game. And then you're looking at Insomniac Spider-Mans. There have been double that in terms of other Spider-Man games that were created. Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Man game that's on the PS1, the second Spider-Man, the movie game that's on the PS1. Like, there's been a ton of other Spider-Man games. Mm-hmm. There's been 2D Spider-Man games. Mm-hmm. There's like platforming Spider-Man games. But none of those Spider-Man games are most of those Spider-Man games are not regarded as being good games. That's my point.
I'm just saying Spider-Man had a better chance of being a good game in this era because of technology itself. Like, games are better generally now. So, but carry on. I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying I don't think Insomniac. My argument was that Insomniac couldn't go wrong with Spider-Man. I just don't think they could have gone wrong with Spider-Man. I didn't when they first announced they were making Spider-Man. I didn't say, oh my god, this is going to be a bad game. I expected it to be good. So like,
but why did you? Wait, let's peel the layer back. Why did you expect it to be good?
Because it's from Insomniac, and they made Sunset Overdrive, and they made Ratchet and Clank. The Insomniac doesn't make bad games, in my opinion.
Because it's nothing to do with Sony. Are you serious? Nothing to do with Sony management. Nothing. Really?
I mean, Sony gives them good actors and a nice budget.
The reason Ratchet and Clank is an important or is a franchise of its merit is because Sony helped manage the studio when creating that franchise and has worked with them constantly with making that franchise. That's the reason.
So you're telling me if you gave Insomniac, if Insomniac was making that same Spider-Man game for any other publisher, it would have been a bad game?
Without proper management, it absolutely could have been. If you don't believe me, let's read the list of games that Insomniac has made in the last generation, the PS4 generation. We can literally read the list of games. I guarantee you don't know fucking half of them.
Okay.
These are not good games. They're not well regarded by anyone. You don't understand the amount that management, good direction makes, bro.
No, I clearly don't. Because I mean, all right, management. Didn't Sony have oversight over Forspoken? And aren't they claiming oversight over Final Fantasy 16? So if it's good, it's PlayStation. But Forspoken's bad, and it's not, and it's what, because of Square Enix, right? But we're giving that same credit to, like, who are we giving credit for Final Fantasy 16? Square Enix or PlayStation?
Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, the one that's coming out that everybody's hyped about.
I mean, you give credit to both. They're both working together.
All right, so then who we give credit to for Forspoken? Who's responsible for that atrocity?
It's both.
I don't know, man. All right,
what do you mean? I'm agreeing with you. Accountability needs to be put on both hands. Let's look at the name of the games. Let's see. So last generation, we're looking at, okay. Did you play Fuse?
Yes, I played Fuse.
Did you like it? Was it a great game?
No, I don't like those type of games.
It wasn't a good game, bro. All right. Slow Down, Bull. Anybody played that? No, didn't think so. Fusion.
Fusion. Fusion is the bite game, right?
All these. All right. These. To be fair, these are what do you call it games? These are Android, iOS games.
Wow.
Song of the Deep. Anybody play that?
Yeah.
Was it a good game?
It was all right. Yeah.
Not great though. Was it on the quality of Spider-Man games or Ratchet and Clank?
No, because it hasn't had the same budget, bro. I don't even think they had a publisher partner for that game.
Edge of Nowhere. Did you play that?
Nah.
No one cares. The Unspoken. Did you play that?
Nah.
No one cares. Feral Rights. Did you play that?
When did that come out, bro?
2016.
Okay.
No one cares. Seeding. Did you play that?
All right, you made your damn point, man, but I don't think, like, no, but I'm just saying. But the thing is,
Strangelets, like, bro, the games, like, you get my point. I get your point. I made it very clear.
Yeah. Sony manages games very well, but I'm not giving them credit for Spider-Man being a good game. I give that to Insomniac, because Insomniac, with the right amount of money and the right publishing partner, can make a good game. They can make any good game. Insomniac are gifted.
But did you hear that? That was smooth. You just
I mean, they made a bunch of but I'm saying I think EA, 2K, Microsoft, if they all were if Insomniac had to make Spider-Man for any of those publishers with the same game, it would be the same game. Minus
Money
Sony's licensing stuff.
Stop it. Money doesn't just make a good game. Guess what? Anthem was made by EA.
Mm-hmm.
How much money do they fucking have? Guess what? The game is fucking garbage. And guess what? It was made by one of the most renowned Western RPG creators. It was made by BioWare. Guess what? The game is fucking garbage. Money doesn't mean anything. It's good direction. And of course, good talent and direction. But money is a component, but it's definitely not the most important. All
right. So, next topic.
Bro, come on now.
Congratulations, Sony. You know how to manage games, and you know what I mean.
Now he's just being condescending.
I'm not being condescending.
Yeah,
I've never commented. I never said Sony was a bad manager of games. I'm just saying, Insomniac. I feel like the game, because you were comparing. I was like, Insomniac mostly they make Ratchet and Clank and they made Spider-Man. I don't think they could have gone wrong with Spider-Man. That's just my opinion. I don't think they could go wrong with Spider-Man. And they did it.
Because of good talent and good leadership. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
The other thing is, all right, so this deal, Activision has been blocked. Xbox is unable to buy Activision Blizzard because the Brits felt like Xbox would have too much power in the cloud gaming market that doesn't exist. So Xbox has to appeal over there. We'll see what the European Union do. Ukraine already approved it. You know, obviously FTC and Lena Khan is doing whatever they can to like make trouble for whatever reason. So with this case, everybody's sort of like, I'm kind of over it. Obviously it's a title because it was the most recent thing that happened. And it's the reason why I'm being, called a racist. But
hold up here. That's not the reason why. You said some fucked up dumb stuff.
I don't think anything I said was actually fucked up.
You asked if she was a American.
Yeah.
When 2 days ago you said that she's a foreigner. She is American, dude. You said that you asked if she was an American solely based off of her
what?
Not looking like a white person.
Oh, real? A white person?
Yes.
Oh, I don't consider white people as American. I asked if she's American.
No, but
like a white person, like I'm black and I consider myself American.
She was American when you made the comment days ago that said that she's a foreigner.
A foreigner, because the comment of the foreigner is the thing is that the video I think I was responding to, or the article, is like her being pressed by U.S. Congress about international business, and I'm like, I was like, where is she? I've always asked, I've asked in podcasts before, I've made comments like about like all the head of the regulators being like women and all the like, where's Lena Kyle? I was like, where she's from? She's the head of like the Federal Trade Commission, the US based one. I was like, I'm like, is she even American? So when I was like, I don't know where she's from. I don't know.
But Smooth, you said that she was a foreigner.
Yeah, but you guys aren't questioning that tweet. You're questioning the question where I asked if she was American or not. You guys are just digging up whatever to try to support.
But the thing is, Google's free.
That's great. I didn't care to figure out. The thing is, I just asked. Maybe somebody, Twitter's an open platform. Ask questions, somebody answers it. But I don't understand how me asking if she's American makes me racist when I'm not asking about her race. I'm asking about her nationality. Like that's all. Like the thing is, it's a fair question. She's a head of a American-based regulator that literally plays an important role in American enterprise. So I don't understand what was wrong with me. What made me wrongdoing for asking that question? It was a simple inquiry. You know what I mean? Is she American? Is she American? Is she not? She not. My thing is that I said what I said. I'm not going to apologize for it. I don't feel wrong about it. I didn't criticize her or say anything about her being anything. All I asked was, is she American?
Other than you called her a foreigner just days prior to
is calling someone a foreigner being racist?
She's an American, dude. How is she a foreigner when she's an American?
Okay, so when I said that, I clearly didn't know she was an American citizen, as if yesterday I just asked if she was American. So my foreigner comment was even older than is she an American comment or question, not even a comment, question.
Yeah, but you literally said, the FTC put the head of the FTC is a foreigner.
I said they put a foreigner as the head of the FTC. Yeah, because
she's not a foreigner. Though.
All right, I know that
now.
That
means you were assuming that she was an American.
Yeah. Hence why I asked the question: is she even American?
Based off of how she looks.
I never said anything about how she looked.
Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah, I do. You can't say you can't.
You would ask that.
You can't determine what I mean by using shit I didn't say. Like, that's the whole problem with this whole issue is everybody's making comments on shit I didn't say. Everybody using their own assumptions to make up what I mean. I hadn't said any of that stuff.
But to
be fair, Smooth, hold on. To be fair, Smooth, it's kind of implied.
I don't know. No, that's not. No, I don't play. I speak in absolutes and actuals.
You're not getting through your head. But it's hella implied.
No, it's not implied.
It was implied by everyone.
By everyone. I don't care because everyone is racist. Because everyone is racist. Everyone is prejudiced. Yeah, because everyone else
that doesn't feel this way is literally
because everyone else is
literally everyone
because everyone else is racist. Everyone else is prejudiced. Why does everybody else's mind go to that? I can ask a question, but everybody's going to make up my mind for me.
Because Smooth, your questioning was literally based on
what? Because did I comment on how she looked at all before and after this? Never.
Wait, smooth. Well, what does it matter though if it's ran by foreigner or not? Though?
Because U.S. Federal Trade Commission.
You think that we can't look at things and be able
me personally, reason why it matters to me is the reason why I ask a lot of things. It's like how I'm looking at it. It's like okay, I ask questions. I ask questions. Based off this, I was like, yeah, personally, I feel like this country itself is under some sort of attack. I feel like they keep putting the ops in high places, but that's not limited to video fucking games. I'd say that about our politics, our shady ass government and everything. So people don't really want to test me on shit like that. But because I was talking about in terms of the FTC, people want to link it to like fanboy or anything like that. But they don't want to test me when it comes to like when I'm talking about like, you know, Biden and Trump, Obama and all that other shit. It's like, oh, I'm just being a bigot or a racist or some shit like that. But I'm just saying, like, it's in line with the shit that I always talk about. But so that's why I'm not backing off of it. It's a legit question, it's a legit concern. I'm like, dude, like these people are ahead of our policies and stuff, putting shit in place that actually put us at a disadvantage in general. And that's beyond regulation. That's just our U.S. government alone. So like that's where I stand on it. I'm not being racist. I'm not being I didn't question her race or where she's from. I didn't assume that she's this, that, and the third. Never did. I just said what I said. People took it the wrong way, and everybody's kind of exposing how they feel by coming at me. If you really wanted that
answer, though, Smooth, you could have just
Googled it out yourself. But it's Twitter.
So it's the fact that you went and made it. You made that tweet as a reactionary tweet based off of this deal.
No, it wasn't based off this deal.
Emotions.
It wasn't based off. It was not based off the deal.
So that you're telling me that the timing was impeccable, that the deal just got blocked, and you made that.
But Lena Condon and blocked the deal. Shouldn't I have said something? Man. Shouldn't I have said something like "quote unquote" racist about the Brits if it was reaction to did? Lena Condon didn't block the deal. The CMA did. I was just asking, this is not the first time I asked like a question similar to that. Like I've asked, damn, why all the head of the important regulators are all female, right? Is that sexist? It can be implied that way, right? It's an observation I made. Like, damn, I didn't realize all the key regulators, European Union, FTC, and the CMA, they are all women. That was a revelation to me. I'm like, okay, and then. People were throwing that like Microsoft, was it Satya Nadella? He's Indian or whatever he is. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Microsoft isn't a government body or like they're not, like it's a corporation. I don't care who runs a corporation. Like a corporation can be ran by anyone at this point. Like it's like a lot of people kind of showed, who they are. And shout out to Gas, who wanted to call me the dude from Django or whatever like that. That has a clear racist undertone, in my opinion. But, I have no right to say anything racist because me asking if Lena Khan was American was quote unquote racist, even though I didn't ask anything about her race. But it's just corny. And
you were asking her if she was an American based on her race. That's
I don't even know her race. So how was it based on her race? I was asking about her nationality.
Dude, you're smarter than this, dude. I don't need.
No. Yeah, I am smarter than this. You guys are making assumptions.
Smooth. All right, let's put it like this. If everyone has came to the same conclusion, can't you see?
No, absolutely not, because I'm not a sheep. I say
you're
fuck
literally
everybody.
not taking accountability for shit.
I don't need to take accountability for nothing.
We're all sheep.
I don't need to take accountability.
Calling you out for saying dumb shit.
Yeah, y'all calling me out for the sake of calling me out. Everybody lines up together and come to the same.
Because I've known you for so long. I've never let you got away with dumb shit. I've never once sat here and let you get away with dumb shit that you said.
Smooth.
Never.
I'm not trying to say that you're
Yo,
something,
yo, BG, hold on, no, I gotta, because BG keeps saying it's based on how she looks.
like
No,
that.
it's not.
No,
Lena
no,
Khan
I
is
like
racially ambiguous. I don't know what the hell she is, so it had nothing to do with she looks. She could be black and white. She could be
you sit there
Hispanic.
saying that it's not based on her looks, but we know damn well 100% what.
It doesn't
Like, you
take
don't gotta
us-
be a
it doesn't take
figure this
much critical thinking to realize that it has to be based upon how she looks, bro.
All right, and one
That's-
dope as
that's
Jay.
our-
I'm not.
that's our point, bro.
I haven't
It
deflected
takes
anything, and
basic
I'm not being a
critical thinking.
victim. I'm not acting like a victim.
It doesn't even take
So-
critical
I'm not-
thinking.
I'm
It's just
not-
like basic looking.
I'm not trying
But
to.
the thing
I'm not
is, you
trying to
guys
say
are
that
making
you're-
you guys are making
Smooth.
my mind for me. You're saying I said this. You're going based off shit I never said. Why don't you stick to what I said? Stick to what I said. Stick to what I said. What did I say? Not what did you think, but what did I say? I said,
like
is she
that-
American?
this is-
That's
this-
what I
this-
said.
This is the equivalent of me saying like I think black people are dirty. Like I think
No,
all
it's
black
not.
people are
No,
dirty.
it's not.
And then it's like,
No,
oh,
it's not.
somebody might think, oh, you're racist. When did I say I'm racist? I said all black people
So-
are dirty. That's the equivalent of what you're doing right now.
So,
That's literally the equivalent.
All right,
Because
y'all some
because
stupid
you're not-
motherfuckers. I'm gonna
because
say
you're-
that. Like, and now
Oh,
am
so
I
we're
being
stupid
now am I
because
being
literally not
am I
saying-
being insensitive there when I say y'all some stupid motherfuckers, or do I gotta say y'all retarded? Right? Like, because y'all
Smooth,
wanted
you're
it too.
literally
Like,
not
that's
taking
crazy.
accountability, my nigga.
I don't need
You're
to take
literally not
accountability.
taking accountability.
Why would I take accountability
It's
for
the
something?
equivalent.
What are you stupid?
Because guess what? Guess what, Smooth? I didn't say that I don't like black people. I didn't say I don't like black people. I just said all black people are dirty.
But you motherfucker, I didn't say anything remotely close to that. I asked, is she American, nigga? That's all I said. Like, what do you guys are putting all this extra
Based
shit
upon
into
how
it.
she looks.
No, it's
Hello?
nigga. All right, so in my tweet, did I
Hello?
say, yo,
Hello?
hey, bless purple. Did I say,
Come on,
did
bro.
I say this? Did I say, hey, Lena Khan is tan and she got this and that. Is she American? Did I do that, or did I say is she American? And I'm asking that based off her position, not on her looks.
Based
her
upon how she
position.
looks.
No,
Her
actually,
position.
you said-
Based
She's
upon how
head
she
of
looks.
the U.S. Federal
You're not
Trade
asking
Commission.
me.
The U.S., the United States Federal Trade Commission. I'm asking based on her position. Her position.
U.S. Trade Commission.
Yeah, United States of what?
You're
America.
telling me you're asking
Oh,
you're asking based upon her position
Yeah, her
in the
position.
company.
Smooth.
That
Let me
doesn't make
ask you
any
this
sense.
question.
We all know you're saying it based upon her looks. Why can't you just
Her
admit
looks.
that? We're not calling you.
Why do
we're
I
not
need to
calling you
admit something I
phobic.
didn't
I don't
say?
give a fuck.
Smooth.
I'm not calling you phobic. I'm just saying that this is obvious.
Smooth.
I'm not calling
It's
you
not
phobic. I don't
obvious.
Be
care.
a U.S. citizen to work for the FTC, right?
I'm sorry?
Like, bro.
You have to be a literal U.S. citizen to work at the
Bless
FTC.
purple.
All right, that's good to know. That's good to
What?
know. I wanted to make sure
So
that
then why
that was
would
actually
you
the thing.
ask that? Dude, this is what I'm saying, Smooth. You just put your foot in your fucking
I'm not
mouth
putting my
without
foot in my mouth. I'm still
Google
talking. I'm still
simple
standing
stuff.
on what I said. That's a question. If y'all find that
You
I
can
have
stand
a
on
problem,
whatever you want,
if you
but if
guys
you-
have a problem that I
wrong.
asked the question, it is what it is. I don't care if anybody thinks I'm racist. That I didn't make a race comment. I asked about her nationality.
I don't think
You
you're racist.
did.
I'm just trying to hold you accountable. For
Yo,
what
but you don't
said,
need
bro.
to hold me accountable.
give a
I don't
fuck.
care.
Like, bro, it's obvious what you said. Obviously
What I
applies
said.
about what
All
she
right,
looks.
no,
What
no.
position she holds. What the fuck?
Every time I've asked about her, it's been based off her position, dude.
Yeah, and she's an American citizen because you have to be an American citizen to work at the FTC.
Okay.
So you
okay.
sit there,
But you don't know that. But we're stupid. I got it.
But
Yeah, well, yeah, stupid because you're saying
we're,
that
we're all the dumb ones.
you guys are basing it. You guys are basing it.
Yeah, everyone else-
Your conclusions are coming to something I didn't say. Why does I have to answer for shit I didn't say? Why can I answer for shit that I actually said? And I'm answering what I said. The other shit that you guys take and how you see it, that don't matter to me. I'm going based off what I said.
That's a dangerous.
Well, that's
way to
because we some
portray
soft.
yourself.
This is a lot of soft motherfuckers in this country and on Twitter, and all the people that was on Twitter. And don't none of you guys take this personally, but I'm just talking about the other guy because I was getting power drive especially when I got and when I got suspended on Twitter and people were talking all this shit, all these fake ass motherfuckers who think they're all good and innocent and that they will never say something they done said 10 times worse. I asked if she's American and I'm like some bigot, some racist. Fuck all y'all. Fuck you all, yo. You guys suck garbage. All your opinions are ass. Like I can't stand when people do that shit. Like it's so fucking corny.
Come for the backup.
So freaking corny. So fucking corny. They do all this shit and they
hold up. Smooth.
Nah, because
hold up. You guys have been
we need an intervention,
for like
bro.
40 minutes. Breathe, my dude. Like this is my issue with you, Smooth. You get so annoyed with people on Twitter that you open up the floodgates and say everybody can get some today. It's like, look, regardless how you feel like you were coming out on that message is irrelevant to the degree because you're on Twitter, social media outlet. It matters more on how other people are going to perceive that because they're the ones reading the comment. Would you not agree?
These motherfuckers are among the most racist motherfuckers on the planet talking all that shit. And so I say something about, oh, hey, she American and all's forgiven. All the homophobic shit they say, or the transphobic shit they say, or the racist shit they say.
Is she even an American?
Yeah, is she even an American? Like, is that a race or a nationality? Is that a race or a nationality? Just given. Like, that's all I want to know. Like that. Like I've never asked about her race. I thought Lena Khan is racially ambiguous. I don't know what she is, bro.
All right. You know how many people get shit on and asked if they're even from this country just because of their race? How many times people have told other people to go back to other countries?
Yo, why didn't
even
nobody?
though they're fucking Americans?
Yo,
what
it's
do you
crazy.
mean?
Why didn't nobody come at me when I said to what's this dude? He used to go by Ironworth, and I know for a fact he's from like the United Kingdom, somewhere, London, Paris. I don't know where the fuck he's from, right? But when he was commenting on the ABK deal, I was like, this dude's not even American, and he's worried about like because he was commenting on something on the FTC side, and he said something. I was like, this dude's not even American, and he's worried about this shit, right? And nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. Why? Why did nobody say nothing to me then?
I don't even know what dude you're talking about.
Ironwolf, the last Ronin on Twitter. The last Ronin. He's been trying to revitalize himself with this whole PlayStation shit, and he's like, taking shots at Xbox. But I literally quote tweeting him saying this to Four Titans. Four Titans. That guy. I literally said in the same exact manner, same exact time. I was like, this dude is not even an American. I said that. Nobody said nothing. Why? Why?
Okay,
why press me? Why press me now? It's still on Twitter. I didn't delete it.
I didn't see that tweet.
I didn't delete it.
That's definitely selective outrage. I will give you that. But it doesn't make either comment right.
They don't have to be right, but it don't say what it's not. It's not racist.
That, but here's the thing.
It's not racist.
Look, I understand how.
And I hate when these people, and this is gonna sound fucked up, but I hate when these select motherfuckers try to call a black man racist.
You are trying to deflect though, because it's not the
same. Who am I deflecting on? This is not deflect. It's the same. I just gave you the same exact example. I said it. I said it about a man that I knew where he's from. Said the same exact tone. Nobody said nothing. I say about Lena Khan. Oh, now I'm racist.
I mean, the fact that you
it's
knew
not
exactly
deflect.
where it's okay.
I knew where you're from because I know
you're
Ronin.
so triggered, bro. Please.
I know Ironwolf. I knew him for years.
Like on the real, like you definitely are like over the top right now.
No, I'm not. Smooth. No.
All right, hold on.
For the last 3 fucking days, and now I'm over the top. Yeah, everybody got 3 days to talk shit, and I'm over the top now. Everybody got to say all the shit they want to say on Twitter.
I'm not saying over the top in the stuff you're saying. I'm saying you are definitely getting a little emotional right now speaking.
Yes.
And just calm down while you speak, because this is the thing, dude. You do it on Twitter. You can't play a game for 30 minutes without flipping out, man. Relax. Your blood pressure high. I can feel it from over here. Yeah. Like calm down.
Like for Smooth, to be fair, like there's two different situations. You're questioning her position as an American that you don't know of in response because you're upset about the deal. Whereas in this situation where you're talking about a person that doesn't live in America,
mm-hmm.
and you're talking about the situation about the deal. That person doesn't live in America. I don't even know if you even know what he looks like. But you know he doesn't live in America. It's a different situation because
It's not different,
he's
bro.
He's not.
I said
he's
the
not
same
directly-
comment. I said the same exact comment. What? Like I said the same exact thing. You guys didn't react to that one. Actually, no, I got a lot of likes and retweets, matter of fact. But I applied to this woman, and now I'm this, I'm that. It's to say this is not deflect, so stop saying that. And this person named Texas something, he says, I'm not American, do you hate me? Did I say I hate people who aren't from America? What the fuck are y'all talking about? Somebody just called me xenophobic. Who am I afraid of? Who am I afraid of? Like, shut up.
I don't think you're phobic, but you're just not able to admit when you're wrong, bro.
I'm not wrong. That's the thing. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. I don't care.
You're wrong, but you're just not standing.
Oh, because this motherfuckers think I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I gotta say, oh, I'm wrong because you think I'm wrong. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's black, there's white. There's wrong and there's right.
Okay.
If we disagree, we can disagree. We can disagree, but if I disagree with you, doesn't mean you're wrong. I just disagree. I'm not gonna say I'm wrong if I don't feel I'm wrong.
Smooth.
The damn question.
All right, let's put it like this: Who do you know that actually like cares about you and wants you to not be led astray? Actually thinks that you're correct. Everyone that's in here, like,
no, my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
So you asked her about it, and
yeah,
she
my wife.
It's not a problem.
She agrees that what I said isn't racist because I had nothing said. I said anything about her race.
Oh,
I never inquired about her race. Never inquired about her race.
That's the thing. Smooth. You wouldn't have said that if it wasn't. You would not have said that. You said that based
upon her position. What?
Her position.
No, that's not how that works.
Because America's a melting pot full of people. I asked about her nationality.
You said yourself that she's racially
ambiguous.
So you wanted to know based upon her features.
The thing is, I said that. I never said I want. I said racial and ambiguous, meaning I couldn't assume what she was because she looks like any other body. She could be. She could be Hispanic. She could be a mix between black and white. She could be anything.
That's why you are interested.
No, I was interested. I was interested to know to see if she was American because she's head of a U.S. regulatory body. So,
but you have to be an American citizen.
Hey, I learned something. I'll just say I learned something new today. That
you could have learned that the other day. Dude,
I don't know.
But you didn't give a shit about
in this country,
you cannot actually care about.
In this country, you can do a lot. You can do a lot without actually being a citizen. Actually, so I mean that's facts, but. Especially with today's administration, so it is.
Bro, oh my god, dude,
this is a headache and a half.
This is the thing. You don't like are listening. You're like, oh, I didn't say anything about her race. You can say things about people that's not directly on the race, but it's solely based on their race.
No, it's not. It's not like that's the thing. It has nothing to do with her race. My thing is, what do you guys want from me? What do you guys want from me about honest? Because what do you guys want from me? That's all I want to know. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about being. I don't give a fuck about being politically correct. But when everyone is obviously telling you that, just admit it. Just stand on your 2 feet, bro. Just admit that it was based upon her race, bro. I'm not gonna consider. I don't consider you a racist or anything. Just stand
if anybody actually agree. Thought I was racist, but I'm not gonna admit something that I clearly didn't go off of. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to say something I didn't mean. I will say something that I clearly mean. What's up?
I need to ask you one question. Here's my question. I'm going to put you in this scenario, all right? All right, you got a Mexican family, right?
Yep. No, see, y'all making all these scenarios that has nothing to do with the thing, but I'll answer.
No, because look, there's this Mexican family, right? And you got this lady who comes up to him. This is an easy, quick scenario. It comes up to him and asks them if they're American. Why would she ask them if they're American if they live in America?
Nationality. Not everybody who lives in America is actually American or from America.
No, but why would somebody come up and try to ask a Mexican family if they're American?
All right, what does the Mexican look like? Because I know white Mexicans, black Mexicans. Like I don't understand the question.
We're about to get canceled here. Hey, hold on.
No, I'm not about to. That's a legit question. He says that he's coming up with an example. He's coming up with an example. He said run into a Mexican family. And like, wait a minute. I've met white Mexicans and black Mexicans. And if you want to talk about in terms of if you talk about skin, like that wasn't making same thing with Dominicans and all this other stuff. Like even freaking people from there's black people in London, right? There's black people in London, right?
Smooth.
That aren't American. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a stupid example.
Regardless how you gotta turn it because
hold up.
Hey, just don't get this man caught up now.
Regardless how you feel, hold up. Regardless how you were approaching the scenario and how you in your mind was approaching the scenario. Do you not see how some people can take that out of content?
No, because, yes, I can, because the people are soft and they're in their feelings, and I'm sorry that they are, but I'm not going to change
everybody that disagrees with Smooth is just
I'm not
soft.
saying that they disagree. Anybody who calls me racist is soft, and they're racist themselves because they came to that conclusion before I can even come close to that sort of conclusion. So anybody who thought my question, not even a comment, my inquiry was racist, they're racist. That's their own like insecurities or whatever they got going on mentally, where their mind immediately jump to that. Their mind jump to that.
I mean, it's a very PC culture nowadays in America. I don't think it's projecting. It's just a very PC culture, politically correct culture.
Yeah, but yeah.
But I don't think.
I'm sorry. I'm like, the thing is like, nobody's gonna get me off when I say, if I've come out and said, when I've said things that are absolutely wrong and I know I like what my intentions were, I'll come out and tell you. There's nothing. I'm not trying to protect anything. I'm not trying to protect the image. I'm not trying to show out for anybody or anything. I don't really care about the community like that to try to come off as this, that, and the third. I don't care if anybody watches me or likes me or anything like that. That's not what I'm here for. But the thing is, what I'm not going to do is buy into this thing that like, oh, because I said something, I mean this. No, I said what I said. I said what I said. I don't care how this person feels, how it meant. No, if I said this, I said this. I don't talk in two sides. Like, I'm not going to say one thing and mean another. I meant what I said. I asked about, is she even American? And I'm only asking that based off her position. She's being pressed in Congress for essentially what it feels like sabotaging American enterprise overseas. And I'm like, damn, well, they could have put the ops in place. This not the first time America has had ops in high places that fucked them over. People think Trump's an op. People think Biden's an op. People thought Obama was an op. So I'm wrong because I was like, hey, is she even American? If you think asking her nationality is wrong, then great. I can agree. All right. You think that's wrong? All right, fine. I'm not mad at if you're mad at me asking about her nationality. But if you're mad and saying I'm racist or I'm racist because I asked a racist question or something like that, then I think you're wrong. I think that's an incorrect assessment of what I said.
Here is you understand why people are frustrated, but you personally feel like people calling you racist is taking it.
I understand. I only understand people who are frustrated if they're mad that I'm questioning her nationality. Then they're like, all right, cool. That's legit to be frustrated at because all right, I did question her nationality. If you're frustrated at that, all right, cool. I'm not gonna press you. I'm not like I understand, whatever. But don't call me fucking. Don't call me Coon or the dude from Django because I asked about like how does that correlate? That has no relation. That has no relation.
He was memeing you. I ain't gonna lie. He was memeing you. But honestly, I just want to talk about how that shit got blocked. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah. I'm on that. Yeah, the block. Why it got blocked for cloud gaming? Do you agree with it being blocked?
I don't give a shit. Let it be done and over with. I'm tired of this, man. This Activision deal has got people acting fucking stupid. It literally does.
I agree.
Call of Duty, whatever Activision has, is not worth this.
All right, I'm going back to Jedi Survivor. You guys have a good day.
None of it is worth this shit, dude. It's like, take that $70 billion, put it elsewhere. I don't care.
Yeah,
Activision ain't that great. It don't matter.
I'm 110% agreeing. I just want this shit to be over. I want them to take that $70 billion to buy either release your fucking games or pay Twitter so you can start sharing the Twitter again, or like buy a bunch of fucking studios that they can't block. Buy everybody else. Fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? At this point, I really wanted this deal to go through just for the shit to say, oh, this is they own Call of Duty. But now that it's not happening, I don't care. I don't want Microsoft to ever to have to look weak in order to get a deal passed. Release your fucking games. Market your games. Invest in third party. Dude, now
they absolutely should.
Since the UK believes the Brits, I'm gonna say since the Brits believe that, hey, the way that PlayStation does business in gaming is the right way, then you should stop giving a fuck about PlayStation, stop giving a fuck about crossplay, stop giving a fuck about Nintendo. Money had every game possible, especially all the big games, all the commercial successful games, all the games that are hype. Give your money to them, buy exclusivity, buy timed exclusivity, buy betas, do that, and give Xbox a treatment that PlayStation give PlayStation gamers to do, and let's move on. Let the lawyers handle the deal, and if it goes through, it goes through. If it doesn't, it don't. But I'm ready for Xbox to get back to Xbox and not Microsoft problems.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do think that there's a lot of just like, toxic. It's like a toxic well. Like, I don't know, just a lot of poison in the water with these people on Twitter. Like, with them like saying, oh, okay, they blocked Activision. Okay, let's see him go for Take-Two. Let's see him go for Capcom. Let's see him go for Sega. It's like, bro, just stop, bro. It's like, I saw Xbox Uni say it, but I'm sure there's other personalities that have said it as well. But it's like, bro, the reason that Activision was in the position that they were in the first place is because of all the controversy, them holistically just worrying only about Call of Duty, all the allegations and stuff like that. Those are the reason. That's the reason why they were looking to be bought out in the first place. Mm-hmm. They were like, I mean, what was his name? The guy that's head
Bobby Kotick.
Bobby Kotick. He was kind of just like, oh, I'm about to just, like, you know, wipe his hands and just leave, you know? He was like, oh, that's their problem. I don't have to deal with this controversy anymore. That's honestly the biggest reason I think they were put in a position to be purchased in the first place, because all the controversy, the degrading quality in their games. Like they released what was that game? It was like a World of Warcraft, like a remastered or remake or type of expansion or something like that. And like it was terrible. But then they released something like Tony Hawk, and then like they're like, oh yeah, we're not gonna release a triple a sequel for it. Instead, we're just gonna focus more on Call of Duty. It's like, I don't know. It's mainly because of the controversy. So it's like Xbox has been in a position to purchase publishers that were in dire straits in the first place. To be honest with you, Bethesda was in dire straits. Like I was talking to you earlier, their games were declining, their sales were declining. Things were looking bad. So that's why they were in a position to be purchased in the first place. Capcom is doing fine. Capcom is making bank. Street Fighter 6 about to come out. That shit about to be a banger. That shit about to hit. They don't need to buy Capcom. Capcom probably doesn't want to be purchased in the first place. You have to want to be purchased in order to be, come up with the deal anyway, or to be hit up. Sega, maybe. I doubt though, because Japan still, but it's like, no, you're not definitely not Take-Two. What the fuck? They're making bank over there. Why the fuck would they be purchased by Take-Two? But in terms of this deal heading out, I think they're gonna definitely they're gonna go through a lot of litigation with this, try to appeal it and shit like that. And I don't think like the FTC hasn't gone to America yet, to where they were to they haven't voted on it yet in like America, right? Like it hasn't come.
Yeah, they did. They voted to sue.
Well, they did.
They voted to sue. But the thing is that the issue is that like FTC would have had a hard time if the CMA and the EU and Samir, everybody else approved it, and it would have forced them to settle
by themselves.
Yeah, but now that they colluded with the CMA, and it gives them leverage. It even gives like that little gamers lawsuit some sort of leverage. At this point, it's like really just like a bunch of just unnecessary, and it makes no sense. And the thing is that this, based off this, I don't see how any major deal would get approved based off these findings. If like, unless they somehow like reverse this thing, I don't see how any other major deal. Like, so if Sony wanted to buy Square Enix, or Koei or Capcom or something like that, they should have real trouble doing it based off what happened with the ABK deal.
I mean, based upon their conclusion, I don't know if they have further. I don't know if they have anything else to look at. But to be fair, looking at the landscape of cloud gaming, it's definitely emerging. It's emerging space.
It's not. It's new and it's too small. It's not something you make. It's not you protect this something that doesn't exist. You can't regulate against something unproven.
But the thing is, though, Smooth, you have to look at it like this. There's a lot of things that were very, there's a lot of things that had to start somewhere. And you look at, for example, internet companies in America. Like you look at Comcast, you look at Time Warner, and how they have a stranglehold on specific areas and stuff. They came in, they created their placement, and then and then we have problems. You know, like what do you call it? Well, like the big three in terms of mobile. Verizon, AT&T.
Yeah, our regulators failed on shit like that. Like there's only three cell phone providers.
Not to.
They should focus on fixing the shit they fucked up. Like they fucked up on the cable internet. There's no way I should move to a fucking town and my only option is Verizon, or my only option is Comcast, or I gotta go with the local cities version. That's fucked up. That's the FTC's problem.
That's the thing. They're trying not to have that same situation.
But shit may be focused on reversing shit like that though. Those are video games. They made mistakes on shit that's actually really impactful, essential shit. They should be focused on reversing shit that they fucked on before, not video games.
The problem is I don't know how much. I don't know if you can just reverse. Like I don't think it's just as easy as. I don't even know if it's possible to. I mean, they could try and make a regulation after the fact, but you can't change something that was already done. You can't just be like, oh, Comcast, you have this area in terms of service. It's only you. You have to, like, what the fuck they're gonna say? What, you have to pare back your service so Time Warner can come in instead of Verizon? Like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, it is how it is, unfortunately, in terms of those spaces. We're looking at, like phones, or you're looking at internet. It is what it is in those particular spaces. There's not much you can really do about it right now. But this is something that they can do something, because they're trying to do something on the front end. You don't want to have this same thing, or even something worse than the actual internet, how it is with the internet companies. You don't want something even worse to happen. They're trying to prevent. It's a preventative measure. So I understand. I mean, the thing is, all it stops is Call of Duty on Game Pass, bro. It stops other things, but that's the main concession you guys have is, oh, you're not gonna get Call of Duty on Game Pass. But truly, that's just a talking point. Like, let's be honest now. It's really just a talking point. Like, do you really like? It doesn't change the fact that if you play the game or not, either you're going to continue to play Call of Duty or you're not. Like, it's not going to change how you are as a gamer. It's not going to change your habits. Cool, you pay less money. You're still paying for the service constantly, though, so it really negates itself. They're getting their money off of you regardless. So it's like, I don't like. What's the purpose? What's the end goal? All you care about is a talking point. Literally, that's all you care about.
Yep.
That's literally all
these dudes out here don't even play Call of Duty. Call of Duty is free to play right now. It's free to play. The biggest fucking mode's free to play.
Yeah,
Warzone. How many hours have people got in it? Huh? So
it's inconsequential. Like, it doesn't really matter, bro. To be honest, it's just a talking point on Twitter, bro. I mean, you're even if like, say for example, 5-10 years from now, it becomes exclusive on Xbox. Cool. It's still the same fucking game. It's not revolutionary. Call of Duty hasn't been revolutionary for a fucking while. Like, it's still the same game. Even if you have it exclusive, fantastic. How does that affect you as a gamer? It doesn't. It's still the same fucking game. You just have a talking point.
And it's literally somebody who's played every single Call of Duty.
Yeah,
like, this shit don't fucking matter. Like,
it doesn't.
Xbox owning Call of Duty does nothing for me.
Like, I never understood this shit, bro. Like, I don't know why you guys are. inherently so like so focused towards this shit. It's honestly like Phil Spencer says, tribalism, bro. You don't fucking care whether you play Call of Duty or not. You're just gonna continue to do what you're doing previously. Like, it's not gonna change your habits. It doesn't matter. It fucking doesn't matter. So I don't understand like all this crying and shit about the fucking deal. Like these people, they're like to be honest now, how many of them are gonna be even? How many of them play like Blizzard games, for example? All you guys are talking about is Call of Duty. You're not talking about Overwatch. You're not talking about Diablo 4. You're not. You don't care.
Overwatch is free to play now.
Exactly. It's free to play. Like it doesn't matter. They're not gonna take it off of PlayStation, bro. Overwatch 2 is on PlayStation. They're not gonna just take it off the store, even if it was purchased or even if the deal went through. So it's literally pointless. I never understood all this fucking hyper fixation on this shit. It doesn't make sense. It's literally just tribalism. Honestly, it's tribalism.
Like, I 100% agree with you, Bless. It's just people
what the fuck?
as a talking point.
Exactly.
All they want is to be able to look. Oh, look, Diablo 4 is such a great game, and it's Xbox first party.
It's on PlayStation. It's on PC. Like,
people are calling Diablo 4 first party right now with the deal not even through.
Yeah, that's true. Like people are calling it first party.
Like, it's not even fucking through, dude. And you got people out there. Oh, I can't wait to play this first party game on Game Pass, Diablo 4.
You sound like it sounds like a fucking advertisement, bro. Like this is how Xbox advertise their games through their players on Twitter. Their tribalistic players on Twitter. Like it doesn't really fucking make sense, bro. Cool. If it was first party, cool. If it wasn't,
I can't wait till Xbox has the best-selling game of every year, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 25,000.
Yeah, and especially speaking of like what we were talking about earlier, when I was talking about Insomniac was purchased by Sony, and because of that, they don't make, or at least as of so far, they haven't made any mid games that they made previously. Like before they were acquired, they were making some mid games in the PS4 generation that people don't even fucking know about. It's not the same situation. You yourself said that like they will be self-sufficient. Activision will mostly be self-sufficient, just like Bethesda. So what fucking difference does it make? They're gonna make the same exact games in the same exact way that they want to. There's literally no fucking point. Literally no point for them to be purchased. It doesn't add any value to the gaming community in any sort of way outside of being on a Game Pass. It doesn't add anything because you yourself said they are hands off. Microsoft is hands off. So what the fuck does it matter? We're not gonna get better Call of Duty games. We're not gonna get Tony Hawk 2 now or Tony Hawk 3. We're not gonna get Crash Bandicoot 5. No, like it doesn't matter. Activision will do what Activision wants. So fucking. I
like how I saw there was an article, I forget who fucking posted it, but talked about how Microsoft might have their answer to Mario Kart game, and they're talking about the Crash tag racing game that's coming out, and Microsoft doesn't even own Activision at this point, or even have any hands. But they're like, but there's already articles out there saying that this is going to be Xbox's answer to a Mario Kart type of game, huh? They don't even own Activision, and you're out here saying that this is Xbox to a Mario Kart competitor that's going to be available on multiple platforms and Xbox doesn't even own them. Like people get so far ahead of themselves and aren't just they're wanting to live in a fantasy land instead of fucking reality.
Yeah. Another point. Psycho Gamer in the chat. The person talking doesn't understand how revenue works. What does them getting more revenue benefit the gamer? How the fuck does that benefit the gamer? And Microsoft is already $1 trillion company. You think that they need Call of Duty in order to keep Xbox self-sufficient? Like, bro, they're $1 trillion company. Hello? The deal was for $69 billion. Why do you think
as Xbox has said they've been
are you fucking stupid?
20 years. They've been around for 20 years. Why do they need Call of Duty now?
Why do they need Call of Duty? Oh, they need the revenue. How does the revenue affect me as a gamer? Like Smooth said, them being a publisher is not going to change anything because Activision will be self-sufficient. They'll be publishing their games just like how they were previously.
I mean, didn't Activision go to Microsoft for the acquisition?
Yes, because they were in controversy. Nigga.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, like, so like it
they were in
wasn't like
controversy, but it's not going to change how their games are created.
No, I'm just saying they went. It's not.
product.
They weren't like essentially being greedy. They saw opportunity came up. They went for it, and unfortunately, but. Guys, I'm about ready to wrap it up. We've been here a little bit long, so let's close it out. Activision Xbox deal's over until something. It's completely off my radar until something like changes. You guys got anything you want to say before we hop out?
No, I don't got none. I'll just be doing my Jedi Survivor review here soon.
All right, looking forward to that. Go ahead, Bless.
People should stop caring about. People should stop caring about Twitter so much. God damn it. And how much their company has a talking point, or how much revenue they earn as already $1 trillion company. I mean, sure, revenue is good. Obviously, it helps perpetuate sequels and bigger budget games. The problem with Microsoft is they have a ton of money, but they have poor fucking management. So the ton of money that they have isn't going to equate to necessarily better games. The problem that we was talking about earlier is fucking management. That's the fucking problem. Handle the management. You already have the fucking money. Why the fuck do you need Call of Duty? You already have the money. Handle the management of your fucking studios. RedFall, 30 FPS. Why? PC equivalent on PC, the equivalent hardware on PC. 60 FPS, more than likely, that's going to be the case. Like, handle your fucking studios, bro.
All right. And it's been said, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another Planet Xbox podcast. Shout out to the 200 plus that came through. Make sure you hit the like button. And we will see you guys next week. I will see you, the rest of you guys, on Weapon Wheel podcast tomorrow, where I'm pretty sure going to go through even more hell. So, but I'll be there, 10 toes down, ready to fight it. So, and I'm gonna verbally whip all their asses. So I'm not even.
You better get your dukes up there.
Yeah,
Bond is about to go crazy.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm ready for it.
You're gonna quadruple dunk down.
The Calape is gonna be in session.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it, man. Appreciate you guys. Peace.
Peace.